the scenes here. And hello and welcome everybody to another cast, another presentation of Alchemy League Season 10. What? How did that happen? My banner is, my text in the banner is a little bit off center. There we go. All right, Alchemy League Season 10. Some more content. As you guys may know, we basically do 2 sets every Sunday, plus or minus a few days, generally, whatever works for our co-casters. We've been trying to do a better job of getting more co-casters involved with Alchemy League. And today is no exception. I bring you the creator of Immigration, one of our really fun maps. A lot of people have really liked this map in Alchemy League Season 10. I've heard some nice things said about it. So we have Mercy joining us today. Mercy, hello and welcome.
Hello, hello.
Mercy
Nice to
is
cast with you.
Mercy is calling in with us from the Netherlands. He is a Dutch uh, map scripter, and I think that we've actually been so lucky as to snag his only map so far in a tournament, the only map that he's ever made. Maybe he'll make some more if he has a good experience with us. But we really appreciate him joining us for the cast for Alchemy League Season 10. So you guys can see here that Season 10 is an open contest Age of Empires 2 competition. And the maps didn't have any particular theme. I just basically reached out to a bunch of people I knew and said, hey, I'm doing this Age of Empires 2 competition, and this is Alchemy League, so we can try to do something new. So what you got? What have you got? And these various different creators said, oh, I got this, I got that. And so we worked together. And even though there isn't like a central theme, it's still Alchemy League. So the map standards are still quite rigorous. And I think that we got, even though they're not thematically linked necessarily so much, it's kind of like a grab bag. Some people are into that kind of thing. But the important thing that everybody is into is the fact that these are some high quality maps. They go through player testing. They go through a final, a check by 2K players. They go through all sorts of rigorous inspection points, and Mercy's map is part of an elite group of maps that made the cut here. So it's good for the players, and we're going to try to show as many maps as we can today. And we do this every week, and we're lucky enough to have chosen sets where we'll have a different map played each time. So we won't have any repeats here, and we have a single set of 3 games, and then we have another set of 2. So we're gonna look at 5 of these maps. So we're gonna see half of these maps in one cast today. So if you look for efficiency, you came to the right content. What else do I want to tell you about this league? Well, I don't really have to tell you too much more. If if you're familiar with the stream and you're familiar with these bullet points over here, this is kind of how we work. We got a proprietary matchmaker that matches you up against nearby opponents. We're going to have a couple guys in between 1200 and mid 1200 probably to mid 1300s is going to be our first set, and then our second set is probably going to be 1500 to 1600 1v1 matchmaker ranking. So nothing too crazy about that today. But sometimes the lower elo sets can actually be a little bit wilder. People can kind of do a little bit more, and they can afford to make some mistakes and potentially come back from it. So I like the high level stuff too. There's definitely a lot of fun micro and some really brilliant strategies, but there's a lot of merit to the low elo matches as well. And I don't really, when I'm picking these sets, I try to make it so that there's minimal overlap between players that have been casted last time, and a requirement that no map is repeated. So it's generally across different rounds or different or different sprints. So we're gonna see Jasuki here. He's seated at 1158, but he's been doing really well this sprint, and Plush Werewolf at 1342. So this is the first set that we're going to cast. Jasuki is a Venezuelan living in Spain, and Plush Werewolf is an American living in America. And then Plotter Ghost is right here. Plotter Ghost is Dutch, and I don't know where he lives. Probably the Netherlands. Probably below sea level. And Metal Mania is from Argentina. So I've known these guys for quite a while actually now. Jasuki is one of our map makers, and Plush Werewolf was with us in the old Virodarks clan for many years. And then he recently rediscovered our league and he likes it, which is great. And then Plotter Ghost has been with us since. Actually, Plotter Ghost I think played in the original King of Ireland tournament, so I've known him for a while. And then Metal Mania I think has been with us since Alchemy League season 4. So these guys are all pretty experienced league players, which which is good. It's sometimes you got a new guy that is like Arabia Pro and he hops into a new tournament and having never played that format or any like custom maps at all and he just crushes it because their maps are basically Arabia but they just change the trees and maybe add a few small things and then give it a cute name or something. That's not how we work here. We encourage people to be wild. We design our system where if you take a big risk making maps and it's just like totally off base, we don't have a system that humiliates people for doing that kind of thing. So it maximizes creativity. We got a lot of great maps, and not all of them worked. But you don't know. You'll never know. You'll never see the failures. It's kind of like the chocolate factory and all the broken candy bars and stuff like that. You just see the nice thing at the end falling off of the assembly line, right? So anyway, long story short, that's why we have creative maps, is because we don't have a system that like embarrasses people publicly and tries to make content out of people's map submissions. We're only going to make content out of map submissions if we know that we're going to accept them and use them and tell the world that they're great. So Mercy, Jasuki, we had many map makers that helped us make this possible. Here you can see Mercy's name is listed on the website next to Immigration. That was the map of the round for round 5. But a special thanks to Welcome to Rapture, Jasuki, Biscuits, Zetnus, Superhero, and Jasuni for all helping us out with maps this season. So I don't think I have any too much more to say about the format. The map draft works as they have the home of the map of the round as their the first map that they have to play, and then they take turns discarding maps, and then they play in reverse order of the discard. So Plush Werewolf and Jasuki are going to play on Emigration, Bluegill, and Kubu, whereas Metal Mania and Plotter Ghost are going to play on Shogun and Spring Hills, and if they play a third game, it will be on Kubu. Spoilers, they don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked this because of the repeats, right? All right, finally, Civilization Draft, Plush Werewolf versus Jasuki. Admin ban randomly bans 16 civilizations or something like that. I guess I could go through and count these, but I'm not going to. It's a large number. It's a lot. I don't really care. I'm a map guy, so I just have people tell me what a fun civ draft would be, and then I just do it. And then they each globally ban 4, which I can count just by looking at it. And then they pick 3, snipe 1, and then pick 3 more. So the result of that draft is left Plush Werewolf with Vietnamese, Berbers, Romans, Poles, and Saracens, whereas Jasuki is left with Jurchens, Magyars, Cumans, Malians, and Tatars. So not a lot of the new civs this time, which is really fantastic because I feel a lot more comfortable casting. All right, and we'll go over the Civilization draft for Metal Mania and Plotter Ghost when we get to it. So what are your thoughts about the civ draft, Mercy? Do you think any of these civs could work well on Emigration?
Potentially, I have to say, I'm not sure how I would play Emigration. I try to design it in such a way that I don't know what the optimal strategy is. Malians certainly are good on hybrid maps because their buildings are cheaper. Vietnamese, I'm not sure why you would necessarily pick Vietnamese on this map, but they are an overall okay civilization to have. So, yeah, I can see them working.
Yeah, got some great choices here. All right, let's transition into the game now. Let's see. I'm going to change to game screen share. And the game should pop up. And here we go. And I am at 0 seconds, and I am ready to start whenever you are, Mercy.
I'm ready to start.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Oops.
Well, I'm curious how much fighting will happen in the center over the deer. In this map, you can have action right from the start, potentially, because deer spawn right in between the players.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sometimes berries. Sometimes there's a neutral stone here. But the
Yep.
overall theme for the map, you guys, is they start on this island together, and there's hardly any space, and there's no gold. So you can't make galleys, and you have to migrate out to some of these islands in the surrounding area. And that's where the big wood lines are. That's where the gold is. That's where the stone is. That's where some bonus food like boars are.
Indeed. And also the deep fish at the site. There are only shore fish near the starting island. But once you migrate further outward, you can get the deep fish. It seems like Yasuki will get most of the deer without any fighting in between the scouts.
Mm-hmm.
This was a map with 3 deer spawns.
Plush, yeah, look at that. Plush just letting it happen. So let's look at the civs here.
Oh,
we got
a boar.
Jasuki's the Malians. And Plush Werewolf is the Vietnamese. Hey,
Plush is
Cookie
slaying a
Pirate.
boar.
Hey,
Am
welcome.
I ahead of you?
Ooh.
Oh, Plush
Wow.
lost his scout. Killed
That
boar.
is-
Phil boar, man.
Yeah, yeah, Plush losing his scout. That's
He tried to get it with the villager now, but Yasuki put an end to that.
that.
It's hard to lane boars on this map because they always spawn behind the town center.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still close, of course, so you can always try to go for it. Yes.
Now is that I'm assuming the boars always spawn in the back as a matter of design.
Yeah,
to
that is true.
Intentionally make it harder to lane them.
Yeah.
Vietnamese.
Yeah,
Cool.
indeed.
So I don't get it. What do you think Plush Werewolf sees in the Vietnamese on this map? Let's see here. Enemy town centers are revealed at the start of the game. Well, that's not useful. You already know where the enemy's town center. Economic upgrades cost no wood and research 100% faster. Maybe that's what he's looking at. He's thinking, I need to get a good economy when I start to migrate out. I don't know. It seems like there could be better civs. Archery range units and fire lancers 20% more HP. Conscription is free. I don't know. I don't get the Vietnamese here. What do you think?
I don't get it either. I mean, like I said, and I think I misunderstood your previous question about the civ draft. I thought we were already talking about these civs. Malians make sense on a hybrid map because their buildings are cheaper, so you can get your dock out faster and fishing ships out faster. Vietnamese, I don't necessarily get, but they're an okay civilization. I'm not sure what his other options were. I can perhaps he wants to go for archers. We have, I think, previously seen a player transporting archers to arrest player on the other islands, which could be strong potentially.
Now look at this.
But Vietnamese are flexible as well. They have lots of options.
Look at Jasuki being a little lamer boy. Look at this. He's walling in Plush Werewolf's berries. That's brutal. He wants an upset here. Jasuki's actually been doing very well this season. So he definitely he's hungry. I think it's definitely fair to say that Jasuki is hungry this set. He really wants to beat Plush Werewolf. If Jasuki can beat Plush Werewolf in this set, he has an excellent chance of being among the winners at the end of this sprint, and he knows it. So
yeah, well, he has a great start by killing the opponent's scout and by getting 2 deer. I'm curious if Yasuki was planning to use the berries in the first place, or whether he was planning to migrate outward anyway and take food on the side islands.
that's a great question. And, because the map isn't solved or figured out, you don't really know.
Oh.
Should I migrate and just forget about the berries and just try to take these boars? But he doesn't know about the boars out there. Remember, guys. So it's kind of a risk because you could be wandering around for a while, not knowing whether or not you're going to find any boars. I guess you could send your scout out there if you're Jasuki. If you're Plush Werewolf, you cannot send your scout there.
That's a great point. It's really bad to lose the scout, even though you don't have much to scout on the central island. It's really good to have it on the side islands. And he's building a mill now on the berries, so it appears that he was planning to go for berries.
He's just taking his time about it. He built a bunch of farms before. Wait a second. How did he build these
No,
farms?
this map starts players with farms.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I did it on purpose because I didn't want laming to be so much of a factor. So I let players start with fewer boars and sheep, put them on the side islands, and then let them start with farms instead.
That's a good idea.
A couple of them.
That's a very good idea, actually. Now, let me ask you something about this before we get into casting an action-packed game. Did you ever consider randomizing the number of islands around the players? So we can see
I did.
Plush Werewolf migrating out here. He's doing the emigration, guys. He's doing the emigration. So,
Yeah,
for
Plush
instance,
Werewolf is out
have a
first.
random chance of 2 islands, have a random chance of 4 islands, have a random chance of 5, or even have a random chance of 1 island. Now that would be wild.
Yeah, well, the way how it started was I thought 3 would be most interesting because it is well, it is uneven and it's more than 1. um, so I started by the 3 islands, and I thought, well, I can always add other possibilities in later, which I haven't done. Could maybe do it. However, 3 islands are hard coded in a lot of things. For example, there is 1 patch of ores per player per island, one group of stone per player per island, 2 pairs of gold per player per island. Lots of those things are set. So if you have a different number of islands, that would be some work, but it could be interesting. You see, yeah, they're both migrating out, but Plus Werewolf is going for fast feudal, while it looks like Yasuki is going for a fast castle. Yasuki is using the wild boars, while Plus Werewolf has gone to gold on a side island.
Yeah, so this is more of a build for somebody that wants to build ships. It's what Plush Werewolf is doing, and Jasuki is trying to get a lot of food really fast and just get up to the castle age. If Jasuki can get some Gabetos running around, it could be game over for Plush Werewolf. Those Gabetos could be everywhere. They could raid Plush Werewolf's island with reckless abandon.
I agree. Plush Werewolf is building a barracks, and he is sending a Hulk out. So he will try to put a stop to the potential fishing eco of Yasuki. But Yasuki is migrating his fishing ships outward, so he's probably planning to build a dock there to take the deep fish. I'm curious whether that dock will be found.
Yeah, I don't know. The Hulks don't have the best line of sight. And yeah, Plush Werewolf hasn't found Jasuki's dock yet. He was attacking the house. Alright, he's looking for it more now. Alright, he found a dock.
Hey, dock.
So you're saying that in order to... now he's going to sink this transport ship. So you're saying that in order to randomize the number of outside islands, it would basically have to start with a new map.
Well,
because a lot of it's already coded in. But there are many things about this map that you could repeat into that, but it would fundamentally be very different at its core.
Yeah, that's true. It will be different at its core. Yes. It looks like Yasuki has an eco KD of 0.2. Did he lose a villager to a boar? If so, I did miss it. Also, Plush Werewolf.
He did not find Jasuki's other dock. He's focusing Jasuki's current dock.
Yeah. That's smart of Yasuki to get out of the way of the fishing ships. To get the fishing ships out of the way in the high end.
Yep. Although Plush should probably suspect that the fishing ships are somewhere else. Maybe he doesn't realize his opponent is that good. He might be surprised that Jasuki thought about that.
Well, to be honest, when I was first to feudal and I saw a flag on the dock, I would maybe think that's just fishing ships that's garrisoned in the dock. Though the dock is not shooting arrows, so I can actually figure that out by clicking on the dock. That it's not fishing ships garrisoned inside.
Well, I think that the Hulks are within minimum range, maybe, and that's why it's not shooting arrows. Let's check and see.
Well, the dock isn't garrisoned with fishing ships, so it's not shooting arrows regardless.
Oh, true. It's garrisoned with Hulks.
And that's how you can see that it's not fishing ships inside, and that the fishing ships must be somewhere else.
Plush Werewolf needs a few demolition ships.
Yep, but Plush Werewolf has some fishing eco himself now on the outer islands, and Yasuki is ejecting. It looks like he wants to contest Plush Werewolf on water, quite close, but Yasuki will be first to Castle Age by quite a wide margin. Though, actually, Plush Werewolf is quite close now with resources, now that I see it. And Plush Werewolf is on stone. So perhaps he plans a castle drop. And is winning the water as well.
Yeah, look at that. Plush Werewolf's Hulks have collectively more health, and they are going to grapple Jasuki to death. Jasuki has a ton of food. He's got almost 1,700 food here. He just needs one
needs
more
a market.
gold and the buildings to click up. Look at that. That's so annoying. He needs to collect 1 gold and drop it off at his mining camp. Let's see if he does it or if he just sells resources. Oh, he queued up.
At what time are you?
Alright. Actually, he could sell some food. That probably wouldn't be too big of a deal. He's got to wait for his blacksmith to go up. Now he can click up. Sell a little bit of food, click up. There he goes. Alright, so he's clicking up and he already has the food to go Imperial Age. So Jasuki going fast imp here against Plush Werewolf. And Plush is tower rushing Jasuki. Look at this. He built a tower on his own wood line. He built a tower here. And now he's building another tower. I don't like this tower very much. I think that this tower should be...
I don't like it either. Yeah.
It doesn't really deny anything except one farm. But
what
Jasuki,
like,
Jasuki doesn't like it, though. That's what matters. Here comes Jasuki's village to shank the tower down.
Yeah. Well, if Plush Werewolf can build enough towers on the central island and can control water, then these villagers of Yasuki have nowhere to go.
Oh, that's
but
true,
let's
actually.
see if that's... he's going to contest the tower, Yasuki. So it's going to be a fight in the middle. Yeah, it seems like Yasuki will batter the tower down. It was not in range of the other one.
So now we got a an archery range coming up for Plush Werewolf. Is this what he was planning the whole time? Trap Jasuki on this starting island with me and kill a bunch of his villagers, winning a tower war?
Yeah, perhaps. I think it would have made sense to open with the archery range rather than with the towers. But let's see. Yasuki could be dangerous in Castle Age, though. He has so much food, he can rebalance his economy and, well, do a lot of damage with his earlier Castle Age.
So if you're Jasuki, as soon as you hit Castle Age, what do? Sell some food and then you buy the resources to plant town centers on the outer islands, right? Begin your boom and stabilize your chokehold, because you're not really going to win. Although Jasuki actually has a number of hulks, he might win water.
Yeah, if I was Yasuki, I would upgrade my ships, and that is what he is doing. And then I would try to see if I can get military out and maybe transport it to different islands. Because so long as there aren't any town centers built on the side islands, the villagers there are super vulnerable. A couple archers or knights could kill a lot of villagers on the side islands.
He does have a town center that he is building.
Yeah.
And Plush Werewolf runs away. Plush is going to go on a raiding expedition. And Jasuki not following.
Oh.
He has the War Hulks, but he's not chasing Plush Werewolf. He's just letting Plush Werewolf sail into the corner and sail around.
Well, that's smart. That's smart. If he just patrols to the other side of the map, he doesn't even need to look at his ships. They can do a lot of damage.
So Jasuki
but that is yeah, that's smart.
Going to hit Plush Werewolf's base instead.
Yeah, ranging with galleys. Actually, these towers, if they are closer to the shore, can actually be useful here. So that Yasuki can't kill the villagers easily that they're on the wood line.
I love Plush Werewolf's tower to defend his dock. Look at that. How often do you see towers killing ships? Like, never. Alright, Plush has gotten to the Castle Age.
And he's building another tower on the shoreline to the south, probably to have a safe wood line. He stopped moving his ships, though. Oh, he's moving back. So close to the fishing ships of his
Plush
opponent.
Werewolf. Almost found it. Not quite, though.
Yeah.
Could also be part of the effort, too. Tower rushes. Oh, wait. He's got some archers going on to Jasuki's woodline here.
Oh, yes. And he made it to Castle Age relatively unsketched. And these archers can do a lot of damage indeed. There's no transport ship.
He doesn't want to charge those archers
transport ships. Which makes sense.
Tower warfare for the win? Well, he hasn't won yet. Jasuki's got a score advantage over Plush Werewolf still. But I do agree that it is very brutally contested here. Jasuki just needs to get off this island with his lumberjacks. He doesn't have a good means to defend them. He's trying to build a lumber camp close to the shore here, or close to the beach,
Makes sense.
so that his ships defend his villagers from the crossbows. But it's just not a great. It's not a great situation. He does have a transport ship out.
Yeah, and both players building a town center on the outer islands.
Yep.
But Yasuki has the lead, both in terms of economy and in terms of military, I would say. Though, the crossbow could be strong if they can be used. But the villagers have been saved from Yasuki.
Plush Werewolf definitely investing more heavily in the starting island. He's got the towers, he's got the crossbows, he's adding a mill now with another ring of farms. So it's actually not what I was expecting.
Well, if you want to farm and you don't have water control, then the central island is the best option. Because the middle of the central island can't be ranged by these ships.
That's true.
And he's using... I built a TC... Plush Werewolf built a TC on the boars.
Yeah, he's TCing the boar. Well, he built it kind of on the wood too, but yeah. That's where he wanted it. So Plush Werewolf has maintained some war hulks for raiding purposes, but he hasn't really hit his opponent yet. Let's see if he's making some more war hulks.
Both players are doing it, actually. Yasuki has a couple of 2 damaged warhawks sailing towards where Plush Werewolf has his fishing ships. But neither player has added fishing ships, so fish is actually not that important anymore. Most of their economy is in terms of villagers.
Yep. Yeah, Jasuki just with 7 fishing ships, it looks like. Now Jasuki is going to be the first to branch on down to this lower island here, this island between 6 and 8 o'clock, and maybe that's a game-winning move for him. You know, Plush Werewolf isn't here. There's extra resources here. It's smart of Jasuki. It's a little bit of an investment. He's got to explore it, send villagers here that could currently be working, but it could pay off long term. Looks like he wants to evacuate the rest of his lumberjacks here too. They're heading toward an evacuation point.
Not a bad idea. Yasuki has cleared up the hulks of Plush Werewolf that were sitting idle in the north of the map. And Yasuki is also advancing towards the fishing ships of Plush Werewolf even further. This is a hard map to play. You have often a lot of idle villagers when you are transporting them all around. I think if Plush Werewolf had ballistics, they would have done a lot more damage to the villagers.
Yeah, he did manage to pick off a few, but I agree. There's a bunch of really hungry war galleys here waiting for Plush Werewolf's crossbows to get too close. And Jasuki's town center goes down, and now Plush Werewolf is working on the archery ranges.
Yasuki is really going strong on the town centers, on the island in the bottom. With the new water balance, crossbow could actually kill war galleys if they have the numbers advantage. Though it's still not a favorable fight necessarily. But they are better against war galleys than they were.
I want to point out that the score has flipped, by the way. Plush Werewolf now takes the lead. But I think that a lot of that is because Jasuki has taken his foot off of the gas. You know, he's kind of letting Plush Werewolf have the central island at this point. And he says, alright, well, if I can't keep my home on the central island, I'm going to spread down to this final neutral island.
Well, it's interesting that Yasuki has had an eco lead for a while, but that eco lead hasn't expanded. He still has an eco lead, though.
Because Plush was clearing him out of the central island here.
Yeah.
So now, what do you do if you're Plush Werewolf? Maybe you build a wonder in the center of this island. What do you think? Get to go up to Imp and build a wonder? I think wonders are too expensive. I think wonders should be about half the cost.
I think it can still be... maybe it can be reached by cannon galleons? Or you can transport trebuchets. Late game, this is often more so a water map than it is in the early and the mid game. So I think I would try to invest in water. More in water. Or maybe you could try to send raids on the islands where Yasuki is. Yasuki has Botkin Arrow, so that and has town centers everywhere, so that makes it more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Plush got these idle rams here. Plush needs to be shift queuing them to attack on, destroy all this stuff. He does still have the score lead. So what is Plush doing now?
If Plush can find a way to transport those crossbowed rams over to a different island, that might be strong. But he doesn't have water control.
Plush has gotten guard tower. Does anybody know if the Vietnamese get heated shot? They do, and Plush Werewolf has researched guard tower and heated shot. So Plush Werewolf very invested in the tower upgrades, which is always fun to see. He's got 320 stones, so he's doesn't have enough for a castle. I wonder if he's going to continue this tower rush. I would love to see Plush transport, sneak some villagers over here, build a tower right on this hill, maybe build a couple more towers and zone Jasuki off from the other half of this island, which is rightfully Plush Werewolf's, although he's not even using his entire island.
Well, I think Plush Werewolf has an opportunity to sneak a transport and transport his army and a bunch of villagers to the island to the left. And try to build a castle, destroy town centers. He can do a lot of damage if he can ferry his army across.
Cookie Pirate says, "This is the kind of gameplay I love." You hear that, Mercy? Cookie Pirate likes your map.
Well, he's have the gameplay, but
yeah, but you know the map is producing the gameplay. Now, speaking of gameplay, look at this gameplay right here. Jasuki has created a castle to protect his gold and this town center.
And is up to Imp.
And he's up to Imp. So Jasuki might be making some. Let's see, he's probably making some Gabetos now. Nope, he's all ships.
Yeah, as soon as he's in, he can make cannon galleons and has even more range with his galleons. And I don't think there's much Plush Werewolf can do against that. Though he still has an opportunity to do eco damage if he can get his army into the economy of Yasuki.
Cookie Pirate says, towers, ships, exploding sticks. Oh wait, that's the wrong game. I do like the map too. Yeah, the map, I think that towers are heavily underutilized against ships in most scenarios, because the passageways are just of water are so wide that ships will just never sail within range of towers. But you have something like this where, you know, this tower kind of covers this intersection partially, or maybe you could have a couple more towers and you could really fully cover it. I like how Jasuki has sent all of these ships to attack this guard tower here, and they're getting wrecked.
It deals 20 damage per arrow. That's a lot.
Plush is trying to repair this guard tower here, but you know, this is not really a fight that Jasuki needs to take. He's on his way to the Imperial Age. He could just get Cannon Galleon.
Yeah.
Now, Plush Werewolf has lost a few villagers repairing this tower, and he's garrisoned a few more in the guard tower too. But look at this guard tower. Like, here goes Jasuki's navy, and Plush Werewolf is taking the lead. That was a big blunder from Jasuki.
Yeah.
The good news is Jasuki is Imperial Age now, and so he can get heavy warships, and that means he can start getting galleons and Caracs and all kinds of nasty things.
It's going to build a castle on the central island. Probably, indeed, to secure that choke and then transport his army across. I didn't realize how strong Heated Shot was. It's amazing that Plush Werewolf thought of that. But Jasuki still has the eco and the tech lead.
That's the play of the game, honestly. That was incredible how Plush Werewolf's tower killed Jasuki's entire navy. It had some help by some villagers, but it was still a good play.
No chemistry on the way for Yasuki still.
Yes, castles
so
get the benefit from Heated Shot, but I don't really think they need it. Their attack is already high enough.
Yeah.
And
Jasuki is researching chemistry right now, and Heated Shot as well. so
Jasuki was impressed by Heated Shot, so he's going to get Heated Shot himself. And he's also going to get chemistry here, and that'll allow him to make cannon galleons. And Plush Werewolf has added another tower here. I believe Plush Werewolf got ballistics some time ago. And these
Castle drop. Castle drop from Yasuki on Plush Werewolf's island.
Ooh. Now that is spicy. I don't think Plush Werewolf sees that. He hasn't reacted. The villagers are still gathering wood.
Yeah, well, he can move them out of the way if he realizes. He is focusing on his docks, I think, next to his castle on the central island. Yeah, that's a lot of dead villagers. Lots of things happening are in this map all over the place.
Yeah, very
So
chaotic.
it is easy to make mistakes in maps like these. Okay, plus Werewolf is making transport ships now. And Yasuki has no land army on the place where he has economy, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, he could get land army though. He just wants to destroy this town center, I think, although this tower kind of makes it awkward for him to put these villagers to work. But he could make Gabetos. Going to be a big setback. Yeah, Plush Werewolf did lose all these villagers here.
Yeah.
And Plush Werewolf is preparing to move his army. It looks like he's getting pretty close. He's got a bunch of crossbows, and he already garrisoned the rams.
Yasuki has no army production on the places where he has economy, so it could be hard for Yasuki to defend that. To be honest, I think Plush Werewolf does need this attack to work, because he is still behind otherwise. But yeah, this attack could be devastating. Ooh, he's going to the island with the castle.
This is actually better for Jasuki that Plush unloaded here. Because Jasuki has a tower here, and there isn't a lot of real good space, although that's a pile of dead villagers right here. Not a lot of places for these crossbows to go where they're not going to get shot at. Does Plush Werewolf even know about that castle? Well, he knows now, but I don't think he knew about it before. I don't think he would have landed here if he did. Plush is going to build a siege workshop in this location. Here's a cannon galleon. Plush Werewolf is focus firing the cannon galleon. And he sent some rams to attack this town center. Yeah. And the villagers are shanking the rams. The crossbows are firing at the villagers. Jasuki has to retreat.
Well, this is how he equalizes the economy count somehow. But Yasuki still has transport ship. Plush Werewolf still has transport ships left, so could still transport the army to the other island if he wishes to do.
And Jasuki still has a villager lead and a technology lead. Jasuki is at 114 villagers and is currently Imperial Age, and Plush Werewolf is at 82 villagers and is currently halfway to the Imperial Age.
What time are you?
I am at 47 minutes and 50 seconds. What time are you?
Yes. I was a couple of seconds behind, so I think I'm now equal.
Oh, okay. Alright, I'm glad that we are close. Plush Werewolf building some ranges on his one island. Big advantage for Jasuki is that he's on 2 islands, right? And Plush is getting sieged here because castle is about to be destroyed by these cannon galleons. He's sending some repair villagers.
Yep. He loses his army to the ships now.
Yeah, he feels like he has to do something. He's trying desperately to destroy these cannon galleons. Is he going to save his castle? No, there's no way. He's out of stone.
No.
He'd have to buy more stone. He destroys the cannon galleon, loses the castle. That was still an expensive attack for Jasuki when you think about it. Imagine losing 4 cannon galleons and they're 300 resources each. That's 1,200 resources right there, whereas a castle is 650 stone. So it was a cost-effective fight for Plush Werewolf, but it was devastating to lose the castle.
Yeah, because now he's trapped. He builds a town center on the island where he landed with his army. I don't know how long that's gonna stand.
So Cookie Pirate says, time to bring in the demo ships and fire ships. I agree. Demo ships and fire ships would be very good against all of this.
Oh yeah, especially fires. Yes.
The demo ships would cover any hulks that Jasuki might make in response, and the fire ships would destroy everything else. And they'd resist arrow fire a bit better too from all of these buildings. Still not great. You don't want to be taking arrow fire against an opponent with heated shot. Jasuki building a castle here to solidify his grip on this island.
Plush Werewolf is gonna run into the issue that his villagers don't have much to do anymore on the central islands. The trees have almost run out there.
And not a lot
There
of
are all
good
kinds of
farming
build.
space too, with
Uh,
this armada circling.
yes.
I think I think Jasuki has won. I think Plush has been mortally injured here. Jasuki is building a stable, preparing to raid what's left of Plush Werewolf's active eco on this island.
Yeah.
There
Yeah, I
there
think
was a
Yasuki was ahead since the early castle age.
well
But Plus
there was
Werewolf
a
has played
window,
well since then.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Plus,
Plush Werewolf got his landing here. Just he wiped out Jasuki on the starting island. He had his tower wipe out Jasuki's entire navy, which was pretty impressive. Um, but now that Jasuki is, finally all boomed and established, it's bearing fruit right now, and Plush Werewolf is on the defensive.
yeah. No, indeed. I think he played very well. He was behind from early castle age, and he did a lot of things to keep up. But it was not enough. But eventually, Yasuki still has the lead.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe Jasuki makes a massive blunder, and Plush Werewolf is able to pull ahead. But
That could very well happen, indeed.
it looks ugly. Oh, look at this. Capped ram for Plush Werewolf.
Yes. Yeah, he wants to reclaim the rest of the island. I mean, rams will soak up a lot of fire from the ships. Yasuki is preparing knights as well to probably raid Plush Werewolf on the side island.
Now these are just
Knights, yeah.
Castle Age crossbowmen here. They don't have chemistry. They don't have bracer. The good news is these are feudal age knights, so the Castle Age crossbowmen are actually able to deal with them. As long as there aren't too many.
But the cannon galleons. The cannon galleons are also not. They can deal with rams.
Yeah,
that's a lot of cannon galleons from Yasuki. Yeah.
Ram is getting crushed, which makes sense. They changed it so that bombard towers only deal 1 damage per cannonball to a ram. Meanwhile, cannon galleons and bombard cannons, they're dealing the normal amount of damage to rams. It just doesn't really make any sense. If you put the cannon in a tower, that doesn't mean that it should do less damage to a battering ram. In fact, if anything, it should do more. Logic. It should do more. Because, it's got to fall that entire distance, too. So it's got extra energy from the height. Whereas a cannonball from a ship or from a cannon is starting out on the ground. So it's like bonus speed. A lot of people don't realize, you could make an armor-penetrating bomb just by bringing a normal armor-penetrating shell up in an airplane and just dropping it. Cannon galleons firing on Plush Werewolf's arbalisters.
Seems... Yeah. Plush Werewolf tried to land with villagers on the other island of Yasuki, but Yasuki found him, and it seems Yasuki has won.
Yeah, look at this. Jasuki pulling out an upset against Plush Werewolf. He's got to be pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it was well played.
What a fun game.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I was really impressed with Plush Werewolf's use of heated shot. I think Yasuki. Yeah, I think we shouldn't underestimate Yasuki's play here, or what role it played. Yasuki used the boars on the central island quite early, and that did help in getting a good food economy early game. And a nice fast castle. And of course, moved the fishing ships out of the way so that the fast feudal of Plush Werewolf was not effective in shutting down the fish economy.
Let's check the statistics here. So Plush Werewolf still with more kills than deaths. Jasuki with more buildings raised than lost. And Jasuki had a larger army. 59 versus 32.
Yeah. I think the KD is what kept Plush Werewolf in the score lead for a while.
So Plush Werewolf with more food collected. Jasuki had more wood, stone, and gold collected. Plush Werewolf first to Feudal. Jasuki first to Castle and Imperial Age. By a lot. Had more map explored.
Yep.
Plush had more research count. Society. Jasuki had 3 castles. Plush only had 1. Plush did collect 2 relics. And got 284 relic gold. So he didn't get them until the very end of the game. Villager high at 90 versus 129.
I saw him walking around with a monk trying to convert a ship later in the game.
The timeline tells the story of Plush Werewolf's gradual demise.
Yes.
Alright, I am ready to load into game 2. That was a lot of fun.
Indeed. Yeah, so that will be... I'm also ready to load in game 2.
Alright, let's do it. What an entertaining game. I agree. Alright, so game 2 is on Kubu. We've got the Jurchens versus the Poles.
Ooh.
Which is an interesting combination. I am at 0 seconds, and I am ready to go whenever you are.
I'm ready as well.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
So guys,
nice.
welcome to game 2.
Yeah, I have not been keeping up with this tournament as well as I would have liked. So what can you tell me about this map?
This map was made by Superhero 55. We don't generally do revision numbering or version numbering on our maps unless both the map and the spec have been platformed before. So if the map is known to people already, then we will bump the rev on it. So this map was a very simple configuration. It was basically just like this. And Superhero wanted to submit it for the map contest, and we said, Superhero, you got to spice this map up beyond what's in the workshop already in order for us to be able to use it. And so I worked with Superhero, and even though on the surface it may look like the same map, it's actually very different under the hood. You can have any number of rotations. Basically, you could have the players set up so that they've got this space in the corner. You can have them kind of be a little bit off kilter, but still symmetric. It's still got these neutral lands here that have either gold or stone in them. It looks like the stone is on the player's right, the gold is on the player's left. It's a nice map. It reminds me a lot of Hideout in a way, except you don't have the big central obstacle to your opponent. It's pretty easy to wall out and walk out and do a man-at-arms plus towers, although your opponent will get early notification because they have relatively large walls. I happen to think this map is also pretty straightforward to wall off yourself to the edge, although we don't see many players do that.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward wall through the center because there's quite a density of forests in the center of the map. So it doesn't actually take that many stone walls to just a zone of half the map. Has anyone ever tried to do that?
Exactly. We have not seen anybody do that. I think that stone walls are criminally underrated on a map like this, but we don't see them very often. And pros don't make stone walls generally, so people don't like making them either. Cookie Pirate says, Plush Werewolf loves the Poles. He indeed does love the Poles. Maybe I should get Plush Werewolf to help me make some Polish maps. Jasuki is here, actually. He's in the chat. Welcome, Jasuki. I found the 2 times I played the map, you can't always scout what resources inside the forest. You can see when I scout the right forest. Oh, Jasuki is saying we should take a look and see what he can see here. So Jasuki hasn't scouted the right forest yet, but he's going to go for it. Maybe that's a little bit of foreshadowing. Jasuki coming out here, chopping through this forest, expecting to find gold, and instead finds stone.
Mongols could be strong then for extra vision on your scout, or a jumpy civilization where they can build an outpost.
Yeah, welcome, Jasuki. Plush Werewolf loves the Poles because he likes going archers with them, actually. He'll mine the stone and get gold to make archers from a single range, and then he'll also, by the time he reaches castle age, have enough stone to build a castle. So, and to him, it's kind of like a free castle. And
Interesting.
Jasuki with the Jurchins, I think the fame of the Jurchins is somewhat well known at this point. They're very good with, like, they can have 1 million rotting animals underneath the town center, and that's totally fine. The Jurchins invented refrigeration in the Middle Ages, so they don't lose food to rotting meat. And they have a strong scout tech tree.
Do you think they will go for fast feudal ages, or will they FC?
I think that Plush will go the pole archer route that I described. I'm not sure what Jasuki will do. The presence of 4 villagers on his lumber camp tells me that he will probably fast castle. Although, I take that back. He's building a mining camp on the stone. Jasuki is gonna do he's gonna be a little rascal, and he's gonna do a tower rush.
Oh, and I see now what Yasuki meant. I'm looking at the line of sight of his scout, and he indeed can't see what is inside the forest to the right.
I'm sorry, I got the colors mixed up. This is Plush Werewolf building the mining camp, and that makes a lot of sense. Jasuki is down here, and this is a fast castle build. Look at how much he's got on gold. Look at how much he's got on wood. I think Jasuki is planning fast castle.
Yasuki is going up to the feudal age, but Plush Werewolf is going fast castle, right?
Actually, wait a second. Let's see. Jasuki... Well, no. Jasuki's only got 22 pop. So 22 pop FC, not really a thing. So he's probably going to do something in feudal age too, but I don't know exactly what. Maybe single range defensive archers. Let's see what these 2 villagers do. What are these for? Are these for a market? Don't tell me this Civ can pull off a 22 pop fast castle. That would be absurd.
No, I think
it's 23 pop fast castle, and that's the fastest that I've seen.
I think it's fast feudal as well because of the amount of villagers on gold.
It's gotta be. Plus, he doesn't have enough food to get up. Here's a market.
Oh, market? Yeah.
Okay. I mean...
Oh, okay.
And blacksmith. Alright, so this Civ is just insane, then. This is just an insane Civ that can do a 22 pop FC, no problem.
He's gonna sell gold to get food, probably.
He's gonna buy food. Yeah. Now, let's check Plush Werewolf. Plush Werewolf is advancing to the feudal age. He's actually housed. Plush Werewolf needs to unhouse immediately. Plush, no, don't get housed. He's got a lot of wood here. Could do double range. And nope, market for him too. So they're both FCing. Alright, well, so I was wrong about what Plush Werewolf's plans are. Market blacksmith for him, and he's not even gonna build. He's got the 2 villagers. He's just gonna cancel the villagers, I think, and then click up. That's what I would do. Just cancel the villagers, Plush.
I would make 1 villager and then go up.
Maybe that's what he's gonna do. No, he could click up right now. What's he waiting for?
Yeah.
No, he's gonna make the 2. Oh, no, he canceled it. Alright, you're right. Alright, so he's doing the Mercy style castle age. 25 seconds of idle time. And then make one villager. Not 25, but make 1 villager. Alright, go up to castle age. So they're both going up to castle. Plush has more villagers than Jasuki, I think. He does.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, but it's
later, you have more idle time. Well, you got the capture age, right?
Yeah, well, Plush Werewolf is up later to castle age, so that's why he's ahead in the villager count. Mm-hmm. When they're both in the castle age, they should be roughly even, I imagine.
So Jasuki says he can do it at 21 pop, but he messed up a bit. This Civ is just insane. Nobody should be able to do a 21 pop FC. That's just crazy.
Well, Yasuki, they both have quite some TC idle time, so it's not the timing of a 23 pop-up. It's slower than that.
Now,
Both have TC out of time.
Plush is heavily on stone here, so Plush is going to build a castle. I mean, at this point, do you just build your castle and then you just mega boom into Hussar? I haven't seen a solid Polish boom into Hussar in a long time. That was a lot of fun a few years ago. Oh, Jasuki chasing Plush Werewolf off, saying, get out of here. This is my base.
He could castle drop. Well, he doesn't know, but he could castle drop because there's no army to stop him.
Let's see. But does he know that there's no army to stop him? He probably assumes that there isn't, because it would be at his base if it existed. So Plush getting castle age, but he's going to build a defensive castle right here. I like this castle. It's a good castle. Keeps his stone safe, keeps his gold safe. It's kind of in the front, so it keeps the front of his base safe. It's not going to prevent Jasuki from coming around if he really wanted to. And
Jasuki is going for Fire Lancer, meanwhile. Neither player adds town centers for the moment.
Which I like. Jasuki has 2 barracks here.
Yeah.
There are several civs that can do 21, but you are pretty much all in. All in. At my best, you know, when I was playing competitively, I could do a 23 pop Byzantine fast castle and not be able to do anything else. Just basically only be able to afford to build town centers in Castle Age. Not even monks, 23 pop. Monks, if you're lucky, you could do something with like a late monk rush 24 pop, 25 pop, somewhere in there.
Yeah, but still, Yasuki did have idle time, so it wasn't as clean.
So Plush has made a knight. I wonder if he's going to try and secure relics. Let's see, we got 1, 2, and there's a 3rd relic here surrounded by some foxes and hares.
Yasuki is not creating villagers anymore. I don't know if that's intentional or if he's really all in here.
Really? Let's
Yeah,
check
still at
Jasuki's
30
point of
villagers.
view.
Oh, he's queuing another villager again.
This is a lot of fire lancers here. Has Plush discovered these fire lancers? I don't know that he has. He hasn't scouted the barracks. Hey, Jasuki, we've already had a great time casting this set. The first game was highly entertaining. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, Yasuki is expanding to the forest with the gold on the left. So it's not an all-in army play. It's going to be found by a knight, though. That's so unfortunate for him.
That is very unlucky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's got a few fire lancers coming out. But to lose a villager now when you only have 30, or 30... Plush actually only has 34. How many does Jasuki have? He's got 32 now. So they are close on villagers.
And Plush Werewolf is making Obuch. It makes sense to stop making knights if the opponent is going for Fire Lancer.
That makes sense. And these Obuchs are going to get in. Now Jasuki could, you know, it's not too bad. He could wall here. He could wall here.
Well, they're going to fight.
They're going to fight, looks like. Oh, the Fire Lancers fired off some rockets and scared these Obuchs away. I don't think these Obuchs have reason to be afraid of the Fire Lancers, do they? Let's see, what are the Fire Lancer stats?
Yasuki has higher numbers.
Actually, the Fire Lancers are better. But the Obuchs peel armor off.
Yeah. That was a bad fight for Plush Werewolf, but Plush Werewolf has the fill lead.
So, Jasuki comes out ahead here. He's secured a spot in the center, and wonder what the goal is for Plush Werewolf now. Let's check and see what he's building. He's building some more Obuchs, and I don't think he's building anything else.
No, he's adding an extra town center now to the left. Just like Yasuki, a bit later though. But even though he has been on 1 TC, he still has a slight fill lead. So actually pretty even here.
Now does Plush know that that's a gold? No, he doesn't know what this is. This could be gold or stone. I guess for him, for the polls, it doesn't matter. He will enjoy either one. Let's see. Plush Werewolf in the back here with some knights. Hasn't found any villagers out so far.
Yeah, but that's useful. I mean, he has mobility with those knights, so yeah, let's see if he can do damage with that.
So Jasuke's making a rear siege workshop here. This is a very conservative siege workshop. I would have liked to see that up here. Maybe he rebuilds his gate so that, you know, he would get warning. If Plush Werewolf ever wanted to run in here with more stuff, he would have some warning. Maybe he feels that the palisade gate is completely useless, which is kind of a justifiable concern. Against 10 knights, you know, that gate will go down very quickly. 2 knights for Plush Werewolf. They do 8 damage per hit to a palisade gate.
Yeah, it goes down relatively quickly. I'm curious what the plan is with the siege workshop. I mean, a push with siege and fire lancers can be strong. But on the other hand, his opponent has a castle.
Yeah, he'd have to...
But Yasuki doesn't know about the town center to the left. That could be a target.
It would be a good place to start out his attack. Plus, he could kind of pivot north and get into the juicy sweet spot of Plush's eco and go around the castle.
Yeah.
The soft underbelly, they say.
Plush is also expanding to the other side forest with the stone now.
Oh yeah, there we go. So the town center is nearing completion. And he's starting to wall off, too. Actually, no, he's just housed.
Well, he could continue those houses, maybe. Okay, let's see. Plush is in with Obug, but I don't think this is a fight he can take.
You're not repeating the last fight. These Obuk are getting out of here.
Yeah. But Plush has a slight fill lead and has more town center, so in theory he doesn't need to push. If he keeps up the status quo, then he will pull ahead, but potentially he doesn't know that.
Yeah, never possible to know exactly what your opponent has. So Plush Werewolf's resources, he's not producing from all of his town centers. Okay, there we go. Now he is. And Jasuke producing from 2 town centers, which is everything. And he's still making more of these Fire Lancers. I think Jasuke needs to get a couple rams out. He is making some rams.
Yes.
And he needs to just have a good attack against one of Plush Werewolf's flanks. And just force Plush Werewolf to fight. You don't want to sit back and let Plush do whatever he wants.
I'm curious how this fight will go. I agree, he should take the fight too. Oh, and he is expanded inside the forest now. Cool, but Plush Werewolf is going to take the initiative and is going to attack the town center of Yasuki there. At his gold forest. And Yasuki doesn't have fetching, so this town center is not strong. Yeah, that's going to go down.
Jasuke should run inside of this wood line here. And just
yeah, and then
it.
we'll, yeah. Oh, that's big damage.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate for Jasuke. It was entirely preventable too,
to
because Jasuke had military, but it just wasn't in the right place.
Yeah, it seems that Yasuki wants to go for a counterattack now, instead of chasing that army of Yasuki, which could work.
Oh, he's gonna hit the castle.
Yeah.
That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna use these town centers as bait to get Plush Werewolf's army out of position, and then he's gonna attack the castle. I don't think that's a good trade. He's probably gonna lose 15 villagers before it's over. And look at this!
He was gonna lose those
look at this
anyway.
stone gate! Look at this! Oh man! Oh my! Oh my! Oh! The trap! Oh! Just barely!
Just too late!
Oh,
that would have been crazy, though.
That would have been insane.
Yeah.
I wonder if Plush knew what he was doing, if Plush saw these villagers come out here. Oh my.
Well, he didn't see the gate foundation.
And Plush is going to castle this location so that Jasuke can never come back here. Meanwhile, Jasuke is knocking on the door of this castle. He's got
Yeah, I think
rams
that
and he's
castle
got
will go
fire
down.
lancers. Plush Werewolf is rushing in to try to save it here. He's got his army of Obuks returning. And this castle's about to go down.
Good micro with hopping in and out of the rams.
Yep,
Yasuki needs to win this fight in order to win the game.
yep.
Let's see if he does.
He should
If he
just-
wins the fight, he has a good chance because he can do a lot of damage.
He just needs to eject right now and take a good fight.
Oh yeah, his entire army needs to fight the army of Plush Werewolf.
Which it is
not the
not.
villager. Yeah,
He's got some fire lancers just raiding. And that
Yeah,
is
he's
an
getting cleaned
unfortunate defeat for Jasuke here.
yeah, he killed some villagers, but still Yasuki has a good fill lead.
Maybe it would have been a different game if Jasuke had been able to get this stone gate up in time.
Oh, for sure, that could have been the victory for for Yasuke. Yeah,
Plush Werewolf trapped in there. Actually, even if he had just built a house, I think all he needed was a house, and he maybe could have completed the house and then built some stone walls up around it. The gate was probably the best choice, though. It's just it took him just a split second longer to get to it.
it was so close. Yeah, really creative players with what they are doing.
Got an Obuk conversion here by Jasuke's monk.
Mm-hmm.
Jasuke fighting in the home field and still losing. Plush Werewolf, the Obuk are too many.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
not
this
sure
is
what
this will snowball from here.
I'm not sure what Jasuke has left. He's building an archery
He's
range
trying
now
Grenadier.
to deal with these Obuks.
Yeah, trying out Grenadier,
Grenadiers,
which makes sense. That's
Interesting.
yeah.
I would have
Hey,
thought Scorpion, but I'm not too familiar with the new civs, and yeah, sure enough, he's making grenade throwers. Literally grenade throwers, you guys. Grenades in Age of Empires. It's like the Jurchen hand cannon.
Yeah, it does. It is indeed. It is like a hand cannon, strong against infantry. It also does a bit of splash damage. I really like it in this situation. However, it's a bit too late, probably.
He needed more time to mass them. Maybe he received a false sense of security from the earlier battles in which he outnumbered Plush Werewolf's Obuks. And thought, yeah,
That could
I'll
be.
just kill these Obuks with my own Fire Lancers. It'll be fine. It's what I did before.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Fire Lancers weren't bad. If he mixed in Grenadier, then he would have had fewer Fire Lancers.
Jasuke calling the GG.
Yeah.
What a close game. Would have been a
Yeah.
different game if this gate had gone up. Jasuke
Yeah.
would have been in here and destroyed Plush Werewolf's whole town. And Plush Werewolf's army would have been trapped in this little pocket like an Obuk petting zoo.
It would have been so funny. Yeah.
Let's go check.
Yeah, and then, yeah, I mean, the army of Yasuki then could just steamroll through the economy of Plush Werewolf unpunished, if that happened.
Let's take a look at the statistics.
Yeah.
Alright, so Plush Werewolf with nearly a 2-to-1 kill-to-death ratio. He had 7 buildings razed and 1 lost. Largest army of 34 to Jasuke's largest army of 40. Economy. Plush Werewolf collected more food. Jasuke collected more wood. Plush Werewolf collected more stone and gold.
Interesting that Yasuki collected no stone at all. They didn't need it.
Wasn't on his radar, I guess. I don't know. Christian Blavi says hi. Hello, Christian. Welcome. So, technology. Jasuke, first to Feudal and Castle Age. Plush Werewolf with more map explored and higher research count. Society. Plush Werewolf with 2 Polish castles. Jasuke with 2 relics and a little over 400 relic gold. Plush Werewolf with 74 villager high. You can see the timeline here. Plush Werewolf taking a big lead after this big battle here, where Jasuke's army didn't all fight as one. and got picked
Yeah,
off.
that was crucial.
GG, says
He
Cookie
had the
Cutter.
army lead, but not the villager lead, and then he lost his army.
Game 3. It's on Bluegill. All right, let's load into this. All right, I am ready whenever you are.
I'm also ready.
All right, 3. I'm on 0 seconds. 3,
Yeah.
2, 1, go.
No.
Welcome to Bluegill by Tech Chariot. We have Jasuki versus Plush Werewolf for a decider. They are currently tied 1-1 in their Play L2 or Play L3 tournament set. So Jasuki won the first game, Plush Werewolf won the second game, and now they both think, I can win that third game. I don't want to tie this person. So, Bluegill, it's an ancient map. It was named after a Dutch player called Bluegill, actually. He died in 2022, I think, but he was very encouraging of my original scripting efforts. And so I decided after he died that I would name this map after him. There's even a little shrine in the middle commemorating Bluegill. We have these blue gills here. They're kind of like a crescent shape. Actually, Bluegill probably would have hated this map, to tell you the truth. You can't boom greedily on it at all, because there is a ring of unbuildable terrain around the edge of the map, similar to Haboob. So, what else do you need to know about this map? You have all the neutral gold is in the middle, basically. And you have 2 piles of, just normal gold here. Three tiles. So you have to be careful. You can go to the center and you can fight over the center. The center is designed so you can't really castle drop it or town center it. Although you might be able to build something. Actually, you can't on this particular generation. Sometimes there are mangrove shallows, sometimes they're just regular shallows. But we have deep water here and regular shallows. So the center on this particular generation is going to be very hard to secure. Oh, I thank you, Christian. Go Jasuki. Oh, you know Jasuki, huh? Jasuki is playing as the Tatars. What's that, Mercy?
It's an interesting map concept. It reminds me of Ghost Lake, except the lake is actually important, full of resources, but you can't actually build large stuff there.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's Ghost Lake is kind of an analog. With Ghost Lake, there are sheep on the lake, and you capture that. And you can't really build on the lake in Ghost Lake. You can't really build this either, at least in this particular generation. And plus, you can wall to the edge of the map on Ghost Lake. So it's kind of like Ghost Lake, but more painful. You got 2 small wood lines, and then you have this very perforated wood line here that archers can walk through. I've had people tell me all kinds of things about this map. I've had people tell me that scouts are OP on this map because you start far apart, and you can't wall to the edge of the map, and so the scouts can get in and get everywhere. I've had people tell me that archers are OP on this map. I've had people tell me that fishing is OP on this map, and I've had other people tell me that fishing is a trap on this map, and you don't want to do it. So I've just heard all kinds of things. Only 1 boar. The boar stands over this crater right here. So if you see that crater but no boar, you know you've been lamed.
Well, that means it's a good map if different people disagree on what's the best strategy. But what can you build on the center? Can you fit a mining camp?
Yes, you can fit a mining camp in the center here.
But no castle or town center?
Nope. It's not enough room. They got these rocks blocking it. It's the reason why the rocks are there. Now, Plush Werewolf is coming forward, actually, with his scout. You cannot chop these trees. Nope.
No.
The trees are set to -1 wood, making them unchoppable.
Ah.
That's how you can make an ornamental tree in that way. If you don't want the players to be able to chop the tree, you give it a negative wood storage, typically by using resource delta, and that makes it so that players can't remove them.
Fun little tidbit of information. It's interesting that he built a dock. What do you think he wants to do with the dock? Fishing ships?
He wants to make fishing ships. So Plush Werewolf is kind of going for the greed on this map. This wolf is getting a hill advantage over this villager. Luckily for Plush Werewolf, he had his scout nearby to help out.
Yeah.
So Plush Werewolf is the Berbers, and Jasuki is the Tatars. The Berbers have faster ships, and they have faster villagers. The Berbers are just fast in general. And they have a fast power spike, too, in Castle Age with their knights. You know, the Berber early castle knight rush is no joke. Now, the Camel Archers are also good, too, and that might be what Plush Werewolf is thinking about. He might try to fast castle, but you can't really fast castle on this map. There are just not enough resources. So he's probably going to try to just build up some ships and have a steady eco. Jasuki, I'm not sure what he's going to do. He managed to find a lot of cows. And for Tatars, that's a really great thing. They get extra food from the cows. These cows already have extra food. And the map actually has different biomes, and this is the biome with cows, meaning there's more food in general on this particular generation than there usually would be. The number of cows isn't adjusted from any ordinary farm animal.
Well, Yasuki got lucky that he got the generation with many cows when he is Tatars. I like his position, even though I like Plush Werewolf's civilization more, starting from Castle Age.
Mm-hmm. And Jasuki did make a big effort to get a lot of cows. I mean, look at this. He's got a cow here, and he's got. I mean, look at this. This is like a big old Texas ranch here underneath Jasuki's town center.
Yeah.
And look at Plush. Plush's people are starving. They're on their last cow now, but Plush is docked. So it's kind of a different philosophy behind how to approach the map. Jasuki's like, you know what? I'm going to collect as many cows as I can and take as much free food as possible, because it'll be a little bit faster. And Plush Werewolf is like, I'm going to go the passive eco approach. Oh, look at this, actually. Plush is not... This is funny. So Plush built this dock. He made no fishing ships. He's just fishing with a single villager. And he's building a galley immediately upon reaching feudal age and doing fast feudal. Well, Plush Werewolf is going to be very disappointed because his opponent did not fall for the trap. His opponent does not have a single fishing ship. But Plush doesn't know that.
Well, he scouted quite a bit. He didn't see a dock with his scout. He did scout a stable. I don't see Spearman queued for him. So he does see the scouts now with his galley.
The scouts are chasing off the... Plush should be running away from this. He spotted the scouts with his galley. So now this villager's going to die. So just
now he queues Spearman. Yeah.
So he's going to make some spearmen to deal with these scouts. Yeah, these scouts could be a huge menace. They could get on his wood lines, which would be very, very devastating. And I think scouts... I think scouts are the stronger option, personally, on this map, but people have done some really devastating things with archers, too. Bender, in particular, we saw some games with Bender where he had a very powerful archer play. Alright, the scouts are doing what scouts do best, and they're slipping around the back. And let's see if they can get in here. It's going to take the fight against the spearman to micro his scout back.
They're converging.
Alright, and they go for the wounded villager first. Is he going to get that villager pick off? He does. It's good micro. Might be able to pick off another villager here. Nope. Oh, wait, maybe. Yes. Oh, almost.
Yeah. Well, good defense from Plush Werewolf in the end, but Yasuki did quite some damage.
It's respectable damage. It's 2 villagers dead. One of them was a forward villager, one of them over here. And actually, maybe even one more over here he picked off, too. So 2 or 3 villagers down. And Plush Werewolf has got this galley helping out the scout here. And the galley... the galleys are actually going to win against the scouts, which is kind of funny. The scouts are not in sufficient quantities to threaten these galleys. Jasuki says...
Yasuki can run around.
Jasuki says, I still think forward archery range is the best for this map, I guess. Do as I say, not as I do. So, despite thinking that, Jasuki was going scouts. The scouts were, a quick... It was a respectable scout rush. He killed between 2 and 3 villagers, depending on how you look at it. He lost all of his scouts, but so what? He took map control, and his opponent I didn't want to go archers because he felt that the archers maybe weren't cost effective, so he went galleys instead. But these galleys can't really hurt anything that Jasuki is making. But Plush Werewolf, maybe Plush just believes that if he survives until Castle Age, he can just deny his opponent the opportunity to get here on gold, and that's really what he wants out of these galleys. Bender says the scouts are fine if the enemy does not wall, which is hard to do, given this back. I mean, you could wall, but you know you'd be walling all along the back of this. It's a pain in the rear. You could small wall easily versus scouts. That's true, Bender.
It's going to take a while before the center gold comes into play, right? Because players do have some gold in their base still. So if Yasuki doesn't have center control, then, well, he can take gold for a while.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I think this generation lends itself more to galleys when you think about it, because these galleys, and I can't necessarily make an argument for the timing of these galleys for right now, but in theory, these galleys could arrange themselves in these inner crescents and range pretty much any villager that wants to take gold without being in range of enemy scouts themselves. So, but yeah, I agree. These galleys are not going to deny any resources that Jasuki really needs right now. Unless Jasuki wanted to go fishing, which I think Plush was kind of disappointed that Jasuki didn't go fishing. But if you're Jasuki, you can just go up to the Castle Age now. I don't really think that you need to try and make more scouts to fight that off.
Yeah,
and Jasuki is going. Yeah.
And Plush won't be far behind. He's scrambling for food right now, and he is also clicking up now.
Hey, Bender, welcome, by the way. It's great that you could join us. Even though you're not here, Bender, and even though you're probably not going to be fighting any of these guys in any future set of Alchemy League, because we're doing all up to 1600s, basically, in this cast. So everybody in this particular cast is below 1600, which means you're here for the entertainment value, and that's awesome. You're not just here to scout people out. And scouting people out is respectable. I'm happy for anybody that wants to come and hang out with us. But I know that you're not here to scout these guys out in this case. Maybe you're here to support your friend Jasuki. I think actually Bender found the league through Jasuki. I think Jasuki invited Bender. I could be mistaken about that. He's been a great ally. He's invited a lot of people to help out with the league. It's been excellent. So Plush Werewolf on his way to the Castle Age 2. Actually, he's not that far behind Jasuki. And they both kind of did their thing. Jasuki did a scout rush, killed some villagers, and so he's ahead in score by a little bit. Plush Werewolf, I guess, built a dock to make some galleys. I don't really know that Plush did much damage to Jasuki at all. But Jasuki basically lost all of his scouts, so maybe that's where Plush's score is coming from.
Yasuki immediately going into a boom.
So
it seems.
Town center here.
Adding a town center.
And is he making another town center? No, he's just going to start with this one. And wait, what's this? Oh, he's making step lancers. Okay. So it's going to be 2 town center, 2 stable step lancers, basically, for Jasuki, which is kind of, it's a respectable balance, right? I mean, in theory, you could do 1 town center, 3 stable knights or step lancers, which is what I would do. I'm like, hey, as long as I'm using these and killing my opponent, I don't need to boom up. So this is kind of what you do if you think you can get modest damage in. If you think you can get massive damage in, you go 1 town center, 3 stable. If you don't think you can get much damage in at all and you just want to raid, then you go 3 town center, 1 stables. Basically, it adds to 4. Unless you're a civilization that gets some crazy cost discount like Berbers or Byzantines, and then it can add to 5.
Step lancers will not be in time to deny the extra town center or castle that Plush Werewolf is building.
It's true. Here's Plush Werewolf's castle is already up, and it is here to secure this wood line. So Plush is... I love how Plush is like so conscious of this extra gold. Like, he does not want to run out of gold here, and you can tell he's setting up his wood line right next to it. He's literally building the closest castle that anybody could build to this gold. Plush does not want to run out of gold, and I love that. I think that's wonderful, because we have seen people lose on this map because they've run out of gold. So Jasuki gonna get these step lancers out. Now, Plush did get up this town center, like you said, but he doesn't have much at it, so maybe Jasuki could get some serious damage in from raiding, especially if he had the armor upgrades on these step lancers. They only
Yeah.
have one base pierce armor. Look at that. They pegged that camel archer. Pulled it out. Alright, only fletching here for Plush, so not too bad for Jasuki. And Jasuki. Causing a ruckus in Plush Werewolf's eco, running around, taking villagers off of farms, taking villagers off of golds. He could pick off these spearmen, and that's what he does. And yeah, that's super annoying. So he can kind of just loiter back here and deny this gold if he wants. He might even be able to kill the market. But instead he's going to come around and he's going to look for some damage on the wood line. And that's annoying for Plush Werewolf.
Yeah, again, good micro by Yasuki, and he was also smart to evade the galleys by running around with his step lancers.
Yep. And Jasuki's saying, in that moment, I realized the center was deep water. Yeah, it's random. It can be deep water, it can be shallows, and this outside ring can be shallows or mangrove shallows that you can build on. Alright, so Jasuki with another raid here. Let's do a villager check. Jasuki actually has a 13 villager lead over Plush Werewolf, so this is kind of a recurring theme with these guys. It seems like Jasuki has maybe better mechanics or like a more aggressive playstyle, and he's good at killing the enemy villager and like having a better army early on, but Plush makes these good long-term strategic decisions, at least in this game and in the previous game he did, that resulted in his victory. Although Jasuki made the long-term strategic decision in the first game, and I think that ultimately ensured his victory. Like he set aside defense of the central island and emigration to migrate out and take a bunch of islands, and it won him the game. And it seems to be a recurring theme this set. Whoever takes long-term decisions so far has been the one that's come out on top. So now we're going to see what Jasuki does. He's still on 2 town center, 2 stable step lancer. He's not making... Oh, he's getting the armor. Okay, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and the 3rd town center. Meanwhile, Plush Werewolf is adding camel, camel archer, and war galley. A bit of everything. But it makes sense to now focus more on the center, to make counter units against the step lancers, and of course, camel archer is his strongest unit.
And these step lancers are going to struggle against camel archers. Camel archers already have 1 extra attack from like a standard crossbow or cavalry archer. Actually, they have +1 because cavalry archers are 6 base attack. These camel archers have 7. And combine that with the fact that these step lancers only have 1 fewer base pierce armor, means that pound for pound, these camel archers are going to come out on top, I think, ahead of the step lancers. So I feel that Jasuki needs to be aggressive with these step lancers and do more eco damage with them.
Well, Yasuki had higher numbers and better micro. He just took an engagement against part of the army, both Plush Werewolf and Pawn.
Yep. He did. It's true. And I love how Plush is upgrading the ships. He's investing in the water. He always wants to have some ships, it looks like. Okay, here he comes. He's going to come back for some more. Is he going to fight this? These ships are out of position. It could be a good opportunity to kill him. No, he just runs by him.
Yep.
He runs by them, and he's going to go... he's going to go back and hit Plush Werewolf again.
He has the 2nd armor upgrade now, so these are a lot more deadly now.
They are much more resistant to arrow fire. Some villagers are going to get picked off. Oh, this is devastating for Plush. He's not paying attention. Oh, that's because Plush is going forward for a castle drop? Let's check and see. Man, that hurts.
Oh, no.
No, he's going forward for a mining camp.
Yeah, but he has the camel members to clean this now.
He does. Yeah, he's got enough camels and he's got enough spearmen. That was a great raid for Jasuki, though. Look at this. He's 17 villagers ahead of Plush Werewolf now. Jasuki says, man, disaster macro. I have only 3 on gold. That is not good. Yeah, that's part of the long-term decision-making we're talking about. So Jasuki, he doesn't really have a good gold here, right? He's got a building on one side, and he's got kind of this mining camp on the corner, and he just needs to get himself a decent mining camp over here, maybe some towers, and secure some gold for himself. Otherwise, this game could be over quickly.
Well, Yasuki has a sizable economy lead, but Plush Werewolf now has the army lead. Yasuki has found the villagers on the mining camp from Yasuki, and from Plush Werewolf, sorry, and Plush Werewolf's army is out of position to save those villagers.
Yeah, just Jasuki with a much bigger economy than Plush Werewolf. He's basically got, you know, 16 villager lead over him. Really needs to secure this though. Here's the thing. Tatars, I know a lot of people like Tatars. I think they're the worst civ in the game. I absolutely hate Tatars, and I'll tell you why. This is a situation where Tatars don't even get the Castle Age armor upgrade for their infantry. Like, he could make Halberdier, sure, someday, but they only have Feudal Age armor, so they just completely melt to Skirmisher arrow fire, or Skirmisher slings. And so if Jasuki wants to counter Plush Werewolf's camels, he can't really do... I mean, he could do it with Spearmen, but the moment Plush Werewolf adds, like, 2 camel archers, you know, that he's just going to tear through those Spearmen. He really... Jasuki does not want to be in the situation where he's making Spearmen, Pikemen to fight off a bunch of Berber camels. So in order to prevent that from happening, he needs camels of his own, and for that, he needs gold. So Plush Werewolf may be smelling an opportunity here. He's coming forward with some camels. Okay, the camels are
I agree that Berbers are favorite in this matchup. Do you want to know what the eco KD is, by the way? I can see it in Capture Age.
Yes, tell us. Tell us what you know.
Yasuki killed 27 villagers in this game. Plush Werewolf only killed 2, and those are killed in the last minute.
Yeah. I like how it just doesn't even bother him. Plush Werewolf is just going to keep fighting like he belongs in the game. He's like, I lost 27 villagers and killed only 2. I'm still in this. And I love that. And he knows that he's still in it because Jasuki is fresh out of gold. Look at this. So now Jasuki needs to put all of his stuff... Oh, he is getting the relics. Look at this. Monk with relic. There are a lot of relics around the outside of the map. So that could help him sustain himself. Let's see how many relics Jasuki has. Let's see. He's got 1 relic already, and he's got a monk retrieving another. So now what? You're out of gold, Jasuki. Now what? Put it all on stone, and you can either sell the stone or you can use the stone to build some towers in the center and secure gold and take gold.
Yeah, it is difficult for Yasuki to think of what you should do from this situation, right? Maybe like Step Lancer help or something. But it's an uphill battle against Berbers.
So Jasuki says, I think steps can counter camels, but you need good numbers. Yeah, I agree. I think in the right situation, you could do some kind of really annoying hit and run with that range thing and not let the camels touch you. And then you could get some good value. But these camels were getting us around. He doesn't really have enough Step Lancers to get that nice juicy pick off. That single range camel pick that he's looking for.
Yasuki's gonna raid with Kashik now. Take the fight to the opponent's base.
Ooh, look at these Keshiks. I mean, it's all part of Jasuki's greatest hits, right? He loves running back here to this gold. This gold is such a liability. And these Keshiks have the same pierce armor as knights. So, a lot more durable against town center arrow fire. And unfortunately for Plush Werewolf, the spearmen jumped inside of the town center. And so, the spearmen are not helping. Here they are. They're hiding in the town center with the villagers. Somebody needs to fire those spearmen and replace them with spearmen that will actually fight.
Yasuki is also winning against the army from Plush Werewolf to the right. He did kill the camels there with his Step Lancers.
He did kill the camels with the Step Lancers. Just took some time, some patience. Alright, Plush Werewolf, next wave of camels. Here they come. Chasing off the Keshiks now. Keshiks are incredibly gold efficient too. They're quite cheap on gold if I remember correctly. Plush Werewolf still mining gold in the center.
Those villagers are so exposed.
They are. Luckily for Plush Werewolf, Jasuki is not here. Jasuki doesn't want to be here. Jasuki is raiding Plush Werewolf's town. Here we go. Some Step Lancers picking off some Camel Archers. Jasuki getting some great value from that fight.
Yeah, he can afford more because of his larger economy.
So here's what Jasuki really needs to do. These trees are really awkward for an enemy army to get a good surround. He needs to take advantage of the better range on the Step Lancers and pull his Step back Lancers like back through these trees and fight through the trees. But instead he just kind of runs in and gets surrounded by the Berber camels, which is not ideal. Alright, so he does retreat. Yeah. But yeah, these trees are one of the reasons why I think archers are good on the map too. Is because they, you can kind of path into these different pockets, and it's just so hard for somebody to get a surround. So the map does favor scouts in terms of like the food and like the resource distribution. It's better for scouts, and the distances are better for scouts. But these trees are better for archers. And actually the rock crevices too. The pockets in between these rocks. It's got different things built into it.
Yeah, that nicely balances it out because there are features that make you think scouts are favored, but indeed, these trees make archer play also strong.
I don't know, Bender, what would you do if somebody were playing Step Lancers against you and they just kept on parking Step Lancers in between these willows and other bushes? I imagine that would be pretty annoying to deal with. CA would be great if he wasn't Berber, says Jasuki. That's true. Berber Camel Archers just rip through Cavalry Archers. Big bloody fight here. I think actually Jasuki is maybe going to come out on top. Plush bails.
It looks like quite an even fight.
So where is Jasuki getting gold from, actually? Is he just selling... Is Jasuki just selling his stone? I think that's what he's doing. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Actually, the other thing we could do is we could check the stone price.
He has 7 gold miners near his starting town centers.
Oh, here they are. I
It's
thought he was out.
behind the market, but he will soon run out.
How many?
But he also has relics, 3 relics, so that's good for him.
That's respectable. He should try to get them all, like Pokemon.
The eco lead is shrinking though. It's now 90 villagers for Yasuki and 80 for Plush Werewolf. But Yasuki is up to the Imperial Age.
Ooh.
This could be the window that he needs to push Plush Werewolf back.
Yeah, so Jasuki's calculus might be, I'm about to run out of gold here. Let's get Imp. Let's get a few technologies. Let's get some trebuchets. Let's press through the center and end the game before I run out of gold. Or at least secure the gold so that I can have more.
He needs to keep his army alive before he is Imperial Age.
Yeah, these ships are so annoying.
Oh, yes.
Just here doing some free damage against the Step Lancers.
Yeah.
Biasing the
fight. That will be a clean.
Jasuki, I think he's going to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
All because of these ships helping out. There it is. Jasuki is Imp with no army. Bad fight. He's going to have to garrison the town center now. Another castle here for Jasuki.
Yeah, he is very well protected with these castles. He didn't need to take the fight. He could fall back and then push out an Imp.
Yeah, this is a bad fight. There was nothing to win here. He could have pulled back into the willows, which would be out of range of the ships. And then he also would have been able to take advantage of the massive pathing burden on his opponent's cavalry. Would have been much better to fight here if he even had to fight at all. But like you said, he didn't need to fight this. There was nothing like what was here that he needed to protect. 4 villagers chopping wood. Yeah, Jasuki says disaster fight.
Well, Plush Werewolf is gonna drop a castle forward, right, as his opponent is reaching Imperial Age.
Oops.
Let's see if he builds on the forward castle.
He might change his mind. I always get pretty intimidated when I see my opponent's Imp. Oh shoot, he can make trebuchets now. He's still going for it. Plush Werewolf pushing forward with faith in the ships.
I would have faith in those ships as well, to be honest.
And these Step Lancers, this has got to be super irritating. If you like this, this is Jasuki. Okay, so Jasuki actually has a good setup here. The camels can't really surround the Step Lancers. You really want to fight it because you're like, that castle doesn't belong there. Jasuki says, I needed to wait imp and upgrades before taking any fight there. That's true. No upgrades yet.
Well, he's making a trebuchet now, so that castle probably won't stand there forever, but Plush Werewolf certainly in the lead. Plush Werewolf has taken the economy lead as well, by quite a margin. And is also clicking up to the Imperial Age.
So what does Jasuki do for gold now? Doesn't look like he has any. Check the market again.
Yeah. Well, he has 3 relics and that's it.
Mm-hmm. He has been selling stone. We can see that the stone price is now 67. It was 84 or something like that earlier. So this is so many Berber camels. I don't think they care about this castle. He's just going to charge in and snipe the trebuchet.
Yeah.
Jasuki says the castle doesn't go up if I didn't take that bad fight before. That's true. If Jasuki still had that army, he could have prevented the castle. Could have gotten these massive, oppressive Step Lancer numbers, and it would have been very hard. Because, you know, neither player is pop-capped, so, you know, there was opportunity for Jasuki to have an even larger army. An army 2 times or 3 times the size.
The funny thing is, Jasuki can still raid Plush Werewolf. Plush Werewolf is still vulnerable to raids, but Jasuki is now so focused on the defense, which is understandable, that he's no longer raiding, even though raids were very effective earlier in the game, and would still be effective.
These camels are taking massive arrow damage here, but there's just so many of them being Berber camels. See, Jasuki, I think, still has 3 relics. Yeah, 3 relics in his monastery. He hasn't built any other monastery. Plush Werewolf with a very bold mining camp up here, taking some forward stone. He's not worried at all. Not too worried about Jasuki as he reaches the Imperial Age. Camels dive the town center. Jasuki is making a lot of light calves, and maybe that is Jasuki's plan, is to just raid Plush Werewolf. Can't really do anything about these camels, at least not with light calves. Let's see. Stables are here, here, here. And he sets the gather point to Plush Werewolf's town. Might be able to raid these gold miners, actually. That would be a good opportunity. The map is very raid friendly.
Yes. Yes, it's a good idea to just send light cavalry to the opponent. He can do quite some damage.
Building more stables here, Jasuki is, and he could get in on this side and he could raid over here too. Can't do anything about this trebuchet, but maybe if Jasuki can mass up enough light calves, eventually he could dive this. If he can keep this castle repaired for a little while. Yeah, he's not able to really get an effective raid. He's not in a strong enough position. And I think Jasuki is in big trouble, and he does too. Jasuki calls the GG.
Yeah. Well played by both.
It was. It was a really entertaining set, I think. Thanks to the players for giving us such a great set.
Indeed. And like you said, in this game as well, the player who was thinking the most about long-term strategy won in the end. Plush Werewolf was very focused on the center and taking those golds. And this is probably what ended up winning him the game. Because he was behind in villagers and also in army for quite a substantial portion of the game. But eventually Jasuki ran out of gold.
Yep. Yeah, And Plush was definitely set back. You know, he built this dock. He built a bunch of galleys that he couldn't really use to do damage to his opponent earlier. Um, and he built this castle here to try to act as a launching pad, and that allowed Jasuki to like raid him right in the back in the sweet spot of his eco. And Jasuki did raid him, and it did set him back, but slowly but surely, Plush Werewolf basically, and with the help of some of Jasuki's bad fights, Plush Werewolf was able to claw his way back into the game. Really pushing the Berber camels. Let's check out the statistics. So Plush Werewolf with 208 kills, 162 units lost, 16 buildings razed, largest army of 60 compared to Jasuki's 27. Economy. Plush Werewolf had more wood and gold collected, Jasuki had more food and stone collected. Jasuki was faster to advance to all of the ages. Jasuki says Plush Werewolf understood that he needed to get the center, and he won because of that. It definitely helped him out a lot. Definitely was a big help. Alright, so Jasuki with 3 castles, 3 relics captured. He had about 1,700 relic gold. Plush Werewolf with a villager high of 121 in the end. Here's the timeline. You know, it was actually pretty competitive up until about 40 minutes or so. But you can see all of the bad fights that Jasuki took here, and here. Or maybe if he hadn't taken those fights, you know, he could have continued up and eventually had, like, a big army right here and then took a fight and then, you know, crushed Plush Werewolf.
Yeah, cavalry against Berber camels is seldomly a good idea.
Jasuki said then, obviously, execution. But with his gold control, I figured it didn't make sense to extend the game. I think it was over at that point. I think it made a lot of sense. This is a rough Civ matchup for Tatars, though. If you let those Berbers get that camel spam out, I mean, there's not much that Tatars can do. Even if you were in a decent spot and you did have your own camels to counter it, you know, they can mix in, you know, camel archers to whittle them down, or a few pikemen to whittle it down or something. You know, and they're cheaper. It's hard with Berbers at that point. With the Tatars, you really got to hope that your eco bonuses of the extra sheep gave you enough of a bump to be in a good position for Castle Age. Alright, let's go back to the replays. Alright, so the next set is Plotter versus Metal Mania. I say that we take a quick break, if that's okay. Just a couple of minutes, Mercy. Go and use the restroom and come back. So let me change the overlay real quick. So guys, we'll be right back. In just a couple of minutes, no more than 5 minutes, probably 2 or 3 minutes. Just going to take a quick break here, and we'll cast the second set. Jasuki says, in any case, I'm happy with taking one game and being competitive against a player theoretically a lot better than me, at least elo-wise. Well, we were saying earlier, Jasuki, that you've been doing very well this sprint. And if you had been able to beat Plush Werewolf, then you would have had a very good chance of actually winning prize money in this league. You know, because I was looking at your results coming, and I'm like, wow, Jasuki's really knocking it out of the park this sprint. Even losing 1-2 against him is still an overperformance, in my opinion, for somebody who's seated at 1150. So, all right, we'll be
And it were
back.
close games. The games were close, especially the last one. So well played.
They were. We'll be back. Thank you, Mercy. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All right, I'm back. We're just waiting for Mercy to return.
I'm
Jasuki
also
says
back.
Jasuki says practice with Bender and the clan friends has been really good. Yeah, you guys have all gotten really good. Bender particularly. He's done very well since joining our league. I'm sure that our league has nothing to do with unlocking his inherent talents, but maybe it's motivated him. I don't know. Mercy, excellent. Mercy is back as well, and we're gonna get into the second set here. It's probably not our halftime. You know, we probably got 45 minutes to an hour left in the cast, maybe. Probably closer to 45. So, Plotter versus Metal Mania. Let me bring up my... can close Plush Werewolf and Jasuki. So, we're going to see Shogun and we're going to see Spring Hills. So, their civilizations are Magyars, Incas, Armenians, Burgundians, and Burmese for Metal Mania, and Persians, Vietnamese, Huns, Jurchens, and Celts for Plotter Ghost. Metal Mania sniping Berbers from Plotter, and Plotter sniping Khitans from Metal Mania. So they both sniped the other's first pick. So that tells me that they don't know much about their opponent's civ preferences, or maybe they're just throwing their hands up and they're like, well, okay, I don't know what he's going to play on what, so I'm just going to snipe the first civilization I can. What do you think of these civ drafts, Mercy? Do you like the civs?
Yeah, I'm not sure what maps they plan to use them on, so not much I can say about them.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Let's change the overlay here. Game screen share. All right. So the first game is Metal Mania versus Plotter Ghost on Shogun. Incas versus Persians. All right, I'm on 0 seconds and I'm ready to go whenever you are.
I'm also ready to go.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
So Plotter Ghost versus Metal Mania. We have Persians versus Incas. The players are directly across from each other. Shogun was created by Biscuits for Alchemy League Season 10. You basically, if you do the math, you don't have enough food. That's the moral of the story. There's some food, and there's 2 boars, there's some sheep. No berries within your base. The berries are within the central ruins of the castle, along with some stone and relics. And there is a thick wood line around the edge of the map. But based on these slopes, you cannot wall to that wood line from your town center. So you can't wall to the edge of the map, which is very unfortunate if you are a defensive turtley player, but great if you love to play aggressively. Tell you the truth, this map probably freaks Plotter Ghost out a little bit. Plotter's probably looking at this thinking, oh man, how am I going to survive? So Plotter Ghost is a kindred spirit maybe to Mercy. They are both Dutch players. And Metal Mania is building a settlement here. And he is playing as the Inca. I don't know what's special about the Incan settlements. I guess we could check. I'm told that each one of the South American civs has a special thing with settlements.
Yeah, okay, Inca settlements provide more population space.
Ooh, alright, that makes a lot of sense, actually. So more Incans are willing to live in a crowded space. The Incans have low standards for housing. You can fit many of them into the same house and settlement. Pack them in there like sardines. Alright, well, I'm not sure how that translates to an advantage. I mean, it's an advantage anywhere, but on this specific map, does anybody get the choice of Incans and Persians on this map? That's what I want to know. Anybody know why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting map. You start with stone walls, yet it is aggressive because the stone walls don't protect anything. Maybe Persians is for scouts because you have to expand to the outer ring, scouts and knights. And of course, Inca are quite a good civilization nowadays. They can go all sorts of counter units. The Inca player is expanding to the center, and we see one reason to pick Inca, because they are building a settlement both on forage bushes and on stone. So perhaps he's planning to make use of that. Perhaps go for towers.
I think so. I think that's right. Now, Incas still have their tower bonuses, don't they? Let's check and
Yeah,
see
they do.
here. So their
Yeah, their
buildings
towers.
cost 15% less stone. All right. And the military units cost less food. And, this is kind of a location that's about stone and that's about food. So Metal Mania could really get a big advantage as the Incas if he prioritized the center. So I think I like what Metal Mania is cooking here. You start with a free llama, so that's a little bit of extra food to help out the low food situation. But I think those two main bonuses are going to be what drives Metal Mania in his quest for the center. It's like a hill fortress. That's true, says that's true, Cookie Pirate, says Tech Chariot. Except with Hill Fort, you actually you can't, because there's a moat on Hill Fort that's around your base. But on Hill Fort, your base is bigger, and it actually has forests inside of it starting out. So it looks like we got a fight here between this Scout Cavalry and this Champy Scout. And Metal Mania decides to take it, and yeah, the Champy loses. I thought Metal Mania might have pulled that Champy up to the slopes of the hill, but then Plotter wouldn't fight, or Plotter would then try and take a hill advantage, and it would just be a mess to Micro. So I understand why Metal Mania just took that fight there and then. Bender says, I think with a tower on wood, you can't make any damage on Feudal Age. Really? Maybe you deny the gold, but no more. Well, what about the whole having enough food thing, Bender? Like, people are so hungry. Both of these guys have come to the center to get their berries. And look at this, Plotter spying on Metal Mania. Metal Mania has already built a barracks, and he's making another Champy. He's making 2 more Champies. Oh boy. Alright, so Metal Mania wants this center, and he wants it bad. He's advancing to the Feudal Age. This is essentially a 20-pot feudal, because he just replaced his Champy with another Champy. And let's see what Plotter Ghost is doing. Plotter Ghost is actually also feudal aging. So I appreciate that Metal Mania believes that you can build a tower on your wood and you're fine. That they can't even deny the gold, but I'm not so sure. I think you kind of need this food in the center. Otherwise, your opponent just has total map control with like everything that they did to build army in Feudal Age. Maybe Bender disagrees. Bender
Yeah,
says,
it looks Metal Mania will be very aggressive in the center with Champy and towers. And yeah, he has the advantage of an earlier feudal time. So looks like it will be successful, and those villagers of Plotter Ghost could be in danger.
So Metal Mania building a central tower to control all of this stone. Look at that. And Plotter just runs. He's like, alright, just have it, man. I'm not going to out-tower the Incas in the middle. And he's probably right. So he came forward.
Yes.
He built a barracks, but he changed his mind. Maybe he sort of needed the barracks anyway to be able to build a stable. But it is unfortunate that Metal Mania can take that barracks down for free. Plotter building the stable. Bender says, I prefer Champy civs because there's no need to farm. I'm not sure I understand that. Don't Champies cost food?
Yeah, they do.
So you need food, right? You need to farm. Metal Mania coming with these Champy runners. So they are an upgraded version. They are no longer Champy scouts. And he's going to try to get in, it looks like. Here he is. And they are clubbing this palisade gate, which Plotter has now locked. Which is a good idea, so that the villagers don't accidentally run out during the repairs. Now this villager here, he's not going to be able to get in. He's a lumberjack. So he's gotta run back and start taking gold, I guess. Or, what is this? Is he just gonna... Alright, no, he's just gonna come out here and get trapped and then die. Oh, Plotter's distracted, must be. Okay, yeah, the villager trying to get away. Champy's right. Oh, wait! The scout's coming out for the rescue. Is the villager gonna escape? Nope. They kill the villager, and they hold the gate open. Really good play from Metal Mania there. And now Metal Mania is going to come back and keep clubbing the palisade gate.
And meanwhile, Plotterghost was forced to build farms because indeed Metal Mania has the center. So this could potentially put him behind because meanwhile Metal Mania can spend his resources on other things, like archers, which he's making from the center now as well.
That's true. So Metal Mania being very aggressive. He's planted an archery range. He's now going to start making archers. Plotter has some scouts. I think Plotter theoretically planned to use these scouts to harm his opponent. He actually might still be able to get in on this side because these villagers aren't protected by a wall. Looks like Plotter has repaired the palisade gate, and he will come back to repair it again. Let's take a look at Plotter's resources. Not that great. And Plotter's apparently making archers somewhere too. There it is. Alright, so he'll have a few archers out to attack these champy runners. Archers are the meta on this map, says Christian Blavi. Wait a second, how do you know? Have you played this map before? Maybe you know Jasuki and Bender and you helped train with them? And you liked archers. Or maybe you're in the league and I just know you by a different name. Let me know. Curious. So Christian Blavi says archers are very good. I actually think I would agree with that. I think on a map where you are forced into small walling, essentially because you can't, you can't wall to the edge of the map from your town center, archers would be pretty good. Oh, he played the map one time with his friends. Okay. Oh, okay. That explains it. Alright, so we got some more villagers coming. Alright, yeah, so Plotter's going to unlock the gate. He's going to send them in. And Plotter actually getting fletching too. Persians do not like to make archers. It's not really what they're about, but they can. Awkwardness level on a scale from 1 to 10 mercy for Persian archers.
Awkwardness on a scale of 1 to 10. Well, it depends on the state of the game. In Feudal Age, I think quite awkward. But it can work. I mean, it is the unit that he needs right now. But these villagers on the woodline could be in trouble. Because Metal Mania can now force his way in with archers and the Chumpy.
Yep. Plotter's going to have to do the whole tower on the woodline thing that Bender was talking about.
Well, Metal Mania has actually done it. And it is what scared the scouts away from Plotterghost that tried to raid.
Yeah, Plotter going just the eco-macro approach here. He's got a few... He's built a few units of different things, I think just to keep his opponent distracted. But Metal Mania is by far more committed to the Feudal Age. Oh, look at this. He's building a second archery range right now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But we shouldn't forget that meanwhile, the town center of Plotterghost has been working faster because he has Persians. Also, Metal Mania has more idle town center time, so Plotterghost has the villager lead.
It's true. He's got a 5 villager lead, and these archers finally chase off the champy runners. So, we beat up Plotter a little bit for not being more proactive in Feudal Age, but, he doesn't really have to be. He's in a good spot. He just has to keep Metal Mania busy so that Metal Mania can't do too much damage, and then rely on his faster working town center to pull ahead in economy. And so that's what he's been doing.
At this point, he might make skirmishers. He doesn't know, of course, but there are no more, or almost no more Chumpy coming from the Inca. So Persians could be fine just defending with skirmishers.
Yeah, the choice of archers was motivated to be able to deal damage to champies, which his opponent is no longer making. He doesn't know that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, lumberjack. Okay, he saved him. Pulls the lumberjack back.
Plotterghost is up to the castle age. He needs to survive from the archers until he is castle age. When he is there, he can start making knights, which should be very good. Oh, he is also queuing a skirmisher now from the archery range, realizing that he needs something against the archers, because those villagers are in danger. at his wood line.
Yep. Yeah, and Knight Skirm is a preferred combination for Persians over archers and, well, nothing. So if Plotter can get to the Castle Age with minimal damage, and the Persian... Oh, look at this. He is building another archery range here, maybe for skirms. His opponent can see that. Metal Mania is going to do his best to deny it. But Persian Knights get extra damage against archers, so... Plotter probably feels pretty good about being just about up to the Castle Age now, but Metal Mania is not too far behind.
And Metal Mania is killing some villagers of Plotter now.
Oh, yeah, he found this gold. It's a good find. And that's really what Metal cares about now. And yeah, he kills the villager, and that's probably going to be the last one. And then this archer will go down. And Metal, in all fairness to him, you know, like, Plotter is probably not going to be running around massacring Incan archers with knights, because Metal knows these bonuses better than we do. And so Metal's probably not going to make any more archers. In fact, look at this. Metal is getting the infantry armor upgrade. So I think now Metal needs to transition into the part of the game where he makes infantry and towers and castles, and he basically just controls key locations along the map and prevents his opponent from getting too many resources. And Plotter wants this space back. Look at this. He's building a siege workshop.
I think that's a good idea, because Metal Mania still has the center, which is important. And if Metal Mania can get to Kamayuk, that could be good against what the Persians is making.
Yeah, like...
the center...
Go ahead.
Castle in the center, yeah. The castle in the center for Metal Mania could be strong, both to secure the center and to create a unit that counters most of what Plotter Ghost wants to make.
Yeah, what do Persians do against Kamyuks and siege rams working together? Not a lot. Plotter building a battering ram now, planning to come
Cavalry
in here
archers, man.
Tear down these buildings. Metal Mania is making... He's getting an upgrade. He's getting an upgrade for the Champies, I think. Champy Warrior. Yeah. With a big, strong club. Okay. He's also getting crossbow, so I was mistaken. He's going to invest some more in crossbows. So crossbows and champies.
Yeah, well, the champy of the Inca are good against the crossbow that the Persians is currently making. And he needs something against this army quick.
So the tower.
Meanwhile,
the tower firing on the ram. No, okay, he did micro it to fire on the archers. Ooh.
Meanwhile, both players are moving behind.
Look at this. Metal Mania has sent some crossbows to raid Plotter Ghost's woodline. That is a really good play there. Picks off another few villagers.
Yes.
And they're actually almost tied now. Depends on how much longer he can raid before Plotter notices. Now they are tied.
Yeah. It was a very good few minutes for Metal Mania. Plotter Ghost took a bad fight in the middle and didn't realize that he was being raided by Metal Mania.
He was distracted by the bad fight. Metal Mania cleans up Plotter's archers here. And now he's going to come and, I guess, try to find some more. And what's Plotter Ghost's plan now? Archers. Archers, archers, and more archers. I don't know that he wants archers, but I'm not really sure what else he can do. Guess knights, maybe? His opponent is not invested in infantry. That could change. But knights could give him the, flexibility to be able to raid his opponent. Draw his opponent's attacking army away from his town.
Yeah, knights would be better against what his opponent is currently making. The Champy are more of an anti-archer unit because they have high pierce armor.
Yeah, base pierce armor of 3, and he hasn't even gotten the Castle Age armor upgrade for them yet. So, could be up to 5 pierce armor in
he's now
the Castle Age, which is pretty good. Plotter walling off here with a university and some houses, and of course you can't wall this whole thing off, but you can obstruct. Metal Mania coming back with 17 units, and they're going to hit Plotter Ghost from the south. These crossbow could very easily range Plotter's gold miners. Actually, Plotter, okay, he's got some gold miners here too.
This is a scary army of Metal Mania, indeed. And both players are adding town centers, so this will probably go late. They have good economies. The Champy can run freely under the town center. They take barely no damage.
The town centers have 2 times the HP, but they really need the Teuton bonus. They need 2 times the garrison capacity.
Yes.
Plotter getting hit hard here. He still has a villager lead for now, but it's not as significant as it was earlier. These Champy warriors are eating these arrows. I mean, look at that. He just like, and he's like, I don't care. They're almost like Huskarls. Just 1 fewer pierce base. Well, no. Huskarls have, what, 8 pierce armor in the Castle Age, so they'll never be quite like Huskarls, but, I mean, how much do you need? You know, these guys have 6.
Yeah, they are a bit like Eagles. Yeah, they are a bit similar to Eagles. Metal Mania is building a forward siege workshop, trying to push Plotter Ghost, who is now trying to transition into Knights.
Knight and maybe Scorpion could be a good choice for him. He's got to do something about these Champy warriors. He needs a good power unit to wipe out these Champy warriors. They're the bane of his existence currently.
Yes. Yeah, Knights can work.
Metal Mania has the villager lead now. He's raided Plotter Ghost that hard. Plotter Ghost with 20 idle villagers. They're in town centers shooting and such. And he has another wave of Champy warriors all queued up.
Champies got nerfed recently, then they got buffed a little. It's interesting to see them performing so well again. They are very cheap as Inca, so Metal Mania can afford to make quite a lot of them.
Now, what is their resistance to monks? I would imagine it's quite high. Aren't they a replacement for an eagle warrior?
They are not good against monks, actually. Slingers have an attack bonus against monks now, and conversion resistance.
Slingers? That's bizarre, given that slingers are a ranged unit. So if you're up against monks and you're playing as the Incas...
Yeah, you can make slingers.
You want to make slingers. Never would have guessed it. Well, I'm glad that you're following us. So look at this. Metal Mania is preparing a push in the north. He's got a bunch of rams. He's got a bunch of champies. And Plotter doesn't know about it. Push. Yeah, that's just gonna. That could be a
Plotter doesn't have armor.
That could be a game-ending push right there, because Plotter doesn't really have an army. He has a bunch of town centers and a bunch of farms, and he's working on an army. But he needs to cancel all of his villagers and husbandry right now, and like throw down some stables and make some knights. Now Plotter jumping out of the town center with some villagers. Tries to shank the rams, but there are champions in the rams, so he can't. So he's just going to prepare the town center, try to keep it alive as long as possible. And 2 more stables. There's nothing stopping Plotter Ghost from garrisoning in these, or there's nothing stopping Metal Mania from doing that again. Plotter just doesn't have the army to be able to contest that.
And these are Persian town centers, and they're still going down quite fast. And Plotter Ghost calls to GG.
2 times the hit points. Yeah, Plotter knows the writing is on the wall for him. Metal Mania with a very commanding advantage. Took center control. Plotter didn't contest it. Just went Castle Age, and that could have worked out, but Plotter, I feel that Plotter tried to boom instead of trying to build up his military and counter Metal Mania, and that may have been a fatal mistake.
It's interesting to see that Metal Mania center control, but it didn't really come into play at this point in the game. In Feudal Age, it was important because it made it so that Plotter Ghost couldn't take the berries. But in Castle Age, the relics were not taken, and the stone wasn't fully taken advantage of either. He didn't need to.
Yeah, he didn't need it. Let's check at the statistics. Alright, so Metal Mania killed 99 units, lost 46. Raised 3 buildings, lost none, largest army of 38. For Plotter, it was pretty much the inverse. Plotter Ghost had more food, slightly more food, a little bit more wood collected too, whereas Metal Mania had more stone and gold collected, significantly more stone collected.
Actually wonder where that stone went. Did he sell a lot of it? Because he built 0 castles and only a couple of towers.
Yeah, good question. He must have sold it, I guess. I'm not sure. Figured it was easier to sell than it was to secure other sources of gold across the map. Just take the center and just sell that stone there. Because there might be a fee at the market, but it's less expensive than securing other areas. That could have been Metal Mania's outlook. Alright, so Metal Mania with a faster Feudal Age. Plotter Ghost with a faster Castle Age. Significantly faster Castle Age, actually. Metal Mania with more map explored and more research count. Metal Mania with 102 villager high. Higher than Plotter Ghost, actually. And here's the timeline of Metal Mania managing the demise of Plotter's empire. Alright. Second game is on Spring Hills. Are you ready?
Not yet. I will load up the game in a second.
So tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think what did you guys think? Did you guys think that was that the Plotter had different what did Plotter need to do in order to get going? In order to be able to withstand the onslaught of Metal Mania?
I'm ready, by the way.
All right. Let's load in. All right. I'm on 3 seconds. Let me uncheck the fog of war. Okay. I am ready to go whenever you are.
I am.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
All right. So Metal Mania is playing as the Armenians, and Plotter Ghost is playing as the Vietnamese, which is actually useful this time, because Plotter will know exactly where Metal Mania starts, and Metal Mania being the Armenians. What does that mean? I wonder why he would pick the Armenians. Well, anyway, Spring Hills was made by Jasuni for Alchemy League Season 10, and it's a nice big open Arabia-style map with more of a spring feel to it. A lot of these new flowers and small wood lines. And you start with these towers to help you secure your resources around the base. So, what do you guys think about this map? Mercy, what would you do if you had to play on this map against an opponent? What are your favorite strategies? Do you understand the civ picks here?
Oh, I'm not quite understanding the civilization picks. With Armenians, I think that meal cards are important, but I'm not quite seeing that in this map. It's interesting. It's an open map, of course, but in early game you are quite protected. I'm curious whether players will go for the fast feudal or they think the towers are strong enough that they can pull off a fast castle. Perhaps Armenians could be just for infantry siege pushes.
Perhaps, yeah, perhaps Metal Mania is just planning on doing like a man-at-arms into towers, and he's going to build a tower on this one wood line of Plotter Ghost and deny a single wood line. Because you can do a lot of damage. You can deny the wood, but you can't really deny any of the other resources. But denying wood could be enough. You know, you don't have wood, you can't really do anything. You can't build buildings. So, it could be enough. I don't know. Regarding Plotter Ghost, I mean, I understand exactly the choice of Vietnamese. Like, Plotter knows where his opponent is. So, it's a big map. You don't have to try very hard to figure out where your opponent is. You can just go there directly. So, don't have to waste a lot of time scouting around. You just go over there with some archers and see if you can pick off villagers here and there. Cookie Pirate says this is an interesting matchup. Did you hear about when the Armenians fought the Vietnamese in the snowy forests of Alaska? Exactly. Yeah. It's slightly less famous than the classic Korean and Mayan skirmish over the Lone Star State of Texas. So Metal Mania is going to try and find Plotter Ghost now. Here he comes. He's not really searching in the right spot. Plotter's over here. He'll find him eventually. So Plotter with 3 villagers. So this tells me he's going to do maybe like a single range, like a 19 pop single range archers opening. It's my guess. He's even pushing in the deer for it. And Metal Mania, let's take a look at his economy. Metal Mania is also 3 villagers on wood. Maybe a 19 pop single archery range opening from him as well.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Yeah, I'm curious how players can... I see. Metal Mania is building a mule cart on the neutral deer. Or are these neutral deer or are these his own deer? It's hard to know. But there are quite some neutral resources on this map, some deer and some hares. So maybe he wants to collect those with help of a mule cart, and that is why he picked Armenians.
Just picked Armenians for the free, not free mule cart, but the mule cart, the ability to make mule carts. They're cheaper, I guess, and their technology is more potent. He's got a couple mule carts here. There we go.
Plotter Ghost is also taking neutral deer, but Plotter Ghost is milling them. Has players often made use of the neutral food sources on this map before?
I haven't done enough casts of this map to be able to say one way or the other, but I think yes. Alright, so Metal Mania finds Plotter's hunters now, actually. So that could be temptation for Metal Mania to attack early. And Metal Mania has actually just clicked up. Basically clicked up on 22 pop. So he's clicked up on 8 minutes. So not going to be terribly fast. But should still be able to get some damage in. Actually,
well, Plotter Ghost is faster.
Yeah, Plotter clicked first. And yeah, both are on their way up to the feudal age. Plotter building a barracks now. Metal Mania... Where's his barracks going to be? He already has his, actually. Oh, and he's making militia right now. So, he is going to probably do some kind of early man-at-arms thing. Let's see, where are his gold miners? Actually, he hasn't sent out the gold miners yet. Metal Mania has not. He's got one on gold somewhere. What? Where's that one on gold? Where's his gold miner? Am I blind? Here's his gold, nothing on it. Here's his gold, nothing on it.
I'm not seeing it either.
Foxes. I bet he's taking a fox somewhere, and that's how he has the gold to do this. Scout has to retreat from the enemy scout. I guess he's just going to try and fight and take as much damage as possible. What is this? Now he's feudal age. Oh, I see. So Plotter Ghost is... His scout is following him, and he's going to lead him back and distract him so that Plotter does not see these militia. And he has the gold for man-at-arms, so he's going to get that. But ironically, due to this archery range being produced after the scout pathing waypoint was set, Metal Mania's scout ran into this archery range and stopped, and did not go around it. So Plotter was able to finish it off and return to help out his villagers, which is unfortunate for Metal Mania. So Plotter's actually doing Vietnamese scouts. Wait, what?
I mean, it is possible. He is taking some extra food. And there is quite a large rush distance between the players. Maybe that factored into his decision to go scouts. He's building an archery range now.
Yeah, so scout skirm from Plotter, perhaps. Metal Mania's man-at-arms loitering around. You know, they're still looking for damage. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to find anything. He really needs a tower. You know, he can't... He could rush in, but there are towers here for Plotter Ghost to defend. But a single tower could deny Plotter Ghost's woodline. And let's see how much Plotter Ghost can see, actually.
Well, Metal Mania is quite spread around, and Plotter Ghost has scouts roaming around, so that could be painful for Metal Mania if his villagers are being found, and it looks like they are. So this is also one reason why scouts could be strong on this map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mobility.
Metal Mania gonna lose two villagers here so far, but Plotter should be able to kill the rest, which is devastating. 4 villagers down for Metal Mania. And Metal Mania, meanwhile, I don't know what happened to his man-at-arms. He must have pulled them back. Or maybe they died.
His man-at-arms are in the opponent's base.
They're not man-at-arms. They're longswords now, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't necessarily understand the upgrade. It doesn't seem like they were doing enough damage to justify upgrading them. But maybe he's going to get some armor for them, and then that would give them 2 pierce armor. It's still not really that great. I think he just needs a tower right here. But one of the other advantages for Plotter about building this forward mill is that he's more likely to see an opponent building a tower on his woodline. That could have been part of his calculus as well. You know, Plotter is a meticulous planner.
Yeah, he has plotted it all out.
Exactly, he is a plotter, for sure. So Metal Mania wandering around with these longswords, kind of lost. The longswords don't really know what to do. Is Metal Mania going to send any villager forward to, like, build anything? Nope, he's just going to keep building his own wall up. He's got his own spearmen. The spearmen fought off Plotter Ghost's scouts. And I guess Metal Mania is just going to hang back and go up to the next stage. Not really. He doesn't really have anywhere close to the food for it is the thing. He's only got 2 farms down. And Plotter has
he was planning on
farms.
Metal Mania was planning on taking the neutral food sources, but he has backed off of that plan, it seemed.
Yeah, because Plotter killed 4 of his villagers, so he realized he couldn't take them for free. So he's coming forward with a few archers to disrupt Plotter's repairs. But Plotter's coming forward with a few archers of his own. Plotter should just destroy this mill. This is actually, or sorry, Metal Mania should destroy this mill. This is actually Plotter Ghost's only mill too, so he'd have to build a new one to reseed his farms. And then once he destroys the mill, he could build a tower right here or something.
Metal Mania has researched arson, so he's definitely planning on using his infantry more, it seems. And indeed, he's taking out the mill.
Now, I think somebody was pointing out, could have been Bender, somebody pointed out that the player bases are always on a hill. And that does help. It prevents you from getting crushed by a tower rush. So, even though this is a single wood line, if you tower and your opponent towers, then you're going to be at a disadvantage because they're firing downhill and you're firing uphill. Alright, and now we have a bunch of villagers going forward. 9 villagers going forward for Metal Mania. That's almost like a castle drop number of villagers, but he's only in Feudal Age, so he can't build a castle. And Metal Mania calls the GG. Plotter came here and cleaned up his forward, defended his mill successfully. Metal Mania maybe was putting too much stock and banking too much on collection of the neutral resources. Didn't really have the protection that he required out for his villagers. So what's the mercy analysis?
Yeah, I think it is well played by both. Metal Mania was behind as soon as those scouts found the villagers. that were taking resources, and he probably was not expecting scouts to randomly show up and kill his hunters. I wouldn't expect that. So that was well played by Plotter Ghost. Metal Mania had the right idea to come forward with a tower, but it was too late. If those villagers came forward a bit earlier, then he would still have had forward army.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have actually gotten a forward tower up and then.
He may have been able to get in with the long swordsman and do some more damage with the tower behind supporting. You know, the other
Yeah,
thing too is he may have been able to build like over here where he was kind of on the same elevation as his opponent and push in that way. But yeah, man at arms plus towers should work, but you just got to be a little bit more careful about it because your opponent, the defender starts with a hill advantage.
yeah, and it was a big investment. Not too many longswordsmen have been made. Armenian longswordsmen can be strong, but yeah, you pay an upfront upgrade cost that needs some time to pay back.
Let's take a look at the statistics. So Platter Ghost with 12 kills and 3 units lost. So Metalmania losing 11 units and killing 10. So I think, yeah, 3 units lost or 3 villagers. Actually, no, Metalmania lost 4 villagers on his deer, and then probably the rest of it was 7 military units because he just could not push through and he couldn't get in to do damage on Plotter Ghost. And Plotter Ghost being Vietnamese helped him find Metal Mania faster. So maybe he kind of knew where to look for neutral villagers collecting things because he could see where the town center was. Plotter with more food and wood collected. Metal Mania with more gold collected. Neither player collected any stone. Technology. Metal Mania was second to Feudal Age. Plotter Ghost was first. Metal Mania had more research, though, and map explored. Society. Plotter with a villager high of 40 to Metal Mania's 35. And here's the timeline. Doesn't tell too much because Plotter was able to use Feudal Age options to close out the game.
Yeah, nice sets.
I agree. That Jasuki versus Plush Werewolf was particularly entertaining, but they were both good sets. You know, we got to see Metal Mania at his finest too, which is always fun. Plotter with a solid defense the second game. We really appreciate you joining us for the co-cast, Mercy. You should do more with us. You should make more maps with us. We'd love to work with you.
I will keep it in mind. Thank you for organizing this event.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever need anything, let me know, guys. Guys, that's Mercy, do you have like a YouTube channel or anything that I should link to this video? I've been doing that with my co-casters recently.
I don't have a YouTube channel. This was my first cast ever.
All right.
So thank you for the opportunity to join you.
Yeah, no worries. If you ever make one, let me know and I'll link it later. All right. All right, guys. So that's Mercy. Please join me in thanking Mercy, guys. Thanks for coming, and have a great day. We'll have more casts for you for Alchemy League Season 10 in the coming weeks, and we'll catch you guys later.
Bye bye.